As I suspected, 32 flavors.
What?
Hello. How are you all tonight? It's Friday evening. I think FNT's wrapping up. There's some frolics going on the Doomcock side of the world. A certain cocktail lounge, but over here, it's the chill stream. It's the comic shop talk. It's Friday evening. I've got the drink. So cheers, everyone. Hopefully everyone's well. It's gonna be nice to just, we're just gonna have a nice little random free for edit. Dudes being dudes. I'm bringing in my boys, and I see a D Bud Martin in the chat. Hail, dude. How you doing, man? Hopefully your Friday is going good. Nice to see you as always. Let's bring in the boys here. The Ironcaster.
Hello, hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, though I can't say the same for IDW.
No, we'll talk about that because that is an interesting subject. Because I think hopefully that could be a positive move going forward. But we'll bring in our other guy here, and we'll talk about it because that is actually a very intriguing subject. And honestly, I thought that was gonna die with IDW, so I was glad to be wrong. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good random topic for discussion. All right. Glad to be with you, Ironcaster. Thank you for holding down the fort last week. I appreciate that. Really cool of you and Pablo to do that. Very cool.
Hey, I don't mind doing it, and it kind of helped me re-scratch an itch and wanting to just kind of have a random stream during the week. So which got me thinking about another little bringing something back for myself.
Oh, awesome! Well, I look forward to hearing about it.
Tell you a little bit about it later.
Okay, cool. We're bringing out the boys. We got, surprisingly, the Egyptian god. He came to surprise us, too. I didn't even think he was going to be around. But, hey, I will always welcome his presence. Lord Thoth, what's up, dude?
Where am I? Where?
I don't think you're in Egypt.
Am I on a live stream? What? Hey, everybody! It's good to be here. Nice to see you, Ironcaster. Nice to see you, Flava Flav. This is good times.
Oh, yeah. So I'm glad you could be with us. This is a nice, very warm, welcoming surprise. I didn't think this would happen, but I'm glad it's happening anyway, so it totally works out.
My wife and I tortured ourselves and watched Cyrano tonight, so I think that it was the opposite of a romantic movie. So she's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go and watch some TV," and I went, "Yeah, okay, I'm gonna go stream." She's like, "Okay, cool." So Peter Dinklage really needs to get back into a Game of Thrones thing again because that was awful.
So Peter Dinklage, I mean, I next time I see him, Peter, my eyes are up here. Talk to me, man. What's going on? I had
Look, the guy's got enough ego to fill 7 dwarves, apparently.
Dude,
True.
It's funny that a dwarf is trying to kick out a bunch of dwarfs. That's the irony of it, but that's a subject for another day. I see I see you, Liger fan. What's up, Liger? How you doing, man? Mr. Dragon. Dragon Master 360. Welcome.
Nick,
nice to see
Nick
you
brings
guys.
all the dragons to the yard.
I know. I was gonna say I love having the dragons coming over here. This is what's up. But of course, Pablo will be here soon. But meanwhile, we got the one, the only, Clobbering Times.
Hey there, buddy. Sorry I'm late, Nick. As always, man. Always seems to show up late, man. No problem. Sorry about that, man.
Oh,
good to see you, buddies.
Yeah, good to see you, man. How you doing?
Avon lives, long live the Legion.
Avon lives, long live the Legion, brother. Brother Thought. Good to see you there, LT.
Good to see you, brother.
Yes, the Iron Buddy. What's up, man?
Hey, doing pretty good. It's been a while since we talked.
It has. But I lurked a bit last week. You boys did a fine job. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. That's an honor coming from you.
Yeah, right.
Not bad for me. Believe me, it's worth nothing. Coming from me, it's worth less than nothing. Though. But it's meant from the heart. That's all that matters.
That is ultimately what matters. That's true. Hi, Tina. How you doing? Thanks for dropping by.
Hey, Tina.
Hopefully your Friday night's going good. Clobbering, I'm so glad you mentioned that thing to me a few days ago. I'm not going to say what, but let's just say I got me back on looking into that from a few years. It's been a few years since I touched it, and dude,
Oh, we
it
can
was like
say it.
it's. Oh, can we? Okay. So,
Yeah.
you got me rereading Born Again after a few years. It felt like almost like a first time again. And I'm just like, I cannot wait
You'll
to
be
talk
born
about
again.
this with Clobbering. I cannot
Yeah.
wait.
I'm
So
going to be
you got me
doing it
excited.
a couple times a month. I brought back the classic Clobby's classic comics review, if I can learn how to say it. MVP and I did it a couple of weeks ago. Started the first one. There's one that's coming Monday night with Mark D with the C on Mark C Comics Rock, and I'm gonna try to do at least 2 a month. That one's coming up. You and me on Daredevil, buddy. Daredevil Born Again.
Not wait. Just like just reading it all over again. I'm just like, I was just like,
yeah. Just you and me, pal. I like to do this where there's 2 of us breaking down something. Occasionally, maybe 3 at max, but like there be 2 of us.
Yeah.
I think the way Max and MVP and I did that, I really enjoyed the way that went down. And of course, the great LT when we're able to make it happen. Great Darkness Saga, buddy, and got a lot of stuff planned. Got a lot of stuff planned.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I think that series is probably it's one of my most memorable series of all time, and it was a great time for comic books. So I can't wait.
It was. Yes, it was, buddy. A lot of classics on docket. Just got to get to them all, and I'll get. I planned to do that last year, and as you know, our good buddy Mark C. Tragically passed, and we had a lot of stuff we were going to do, and we didn't know. There were so many we weren't exactly sure. We just knew the one we were going to do. We had one set up, but we'd done a couple before. We were going to do more, and that whole year, I just didn't feel right doing it. Now it's been long enough. I think I'll just go ahead and it's going to be a lot of fun. Classic Comics Review. You just take some great issue of something, a great saga, and 2 of you just break it down and we talk about it. And I'm looking forward to doing that, Nicholas. Man, I'd love me some Born Again is one of the greats.
It really is. Like I was just like reading it. It just like it had like just my anticipation and just like I was just like. Once again, it's just like wow, I'm familiar with this story, but I still feel the suspense and it's just like it's so good. It's so good.
It's a classic indeed.
Oh man, one day, and I see Telham 29. How you doing? Vigilante Williamson. How you doing?
Hey, V-Dubs.
Long time no see.
And would love to have fired your play because I was the problem. Well, hey, tell them. Why don't you come on next week, man? We're gonna be talking the Inhumans. If you know the Inhumans, you can come join us. If not, we can work out a time for you to come on. All right. And I see Dragon Master. Have you gotten into old school RuneScape yet? No pressure, just curious. I don't even know about RuneScape pressure and all that jazz. So I'm missing something in the world. Go ahead and refresh me, guys.
Yeah, RuneScape was one of the old browser-based MMOs that I remember like 2000. That was the shit in middle school playing. It was WoW before WoW.
WoW before WoW. Okay. And that I actually do follow on that. All right. Well, unfortunately, it's not something I'm man of knowledge or even of normie-ish stature with. It's just something that's just like, oh, hey, that's a thing. It's all good. No, hey, Dragon Master, don't you dare apologize, man. It's all good. We're just here. This is the chill stream on Friday night. That's really all this is. And also, anyone in the chat who's got their drinks, cheers. Ironcaster, thoughts.
Oh, what we all drinking tonight, fellas?
Cheers.
Tonight, I'm drinking a sour mash bourbon whiskey, Tennessee style, of course. And I put a splash of Coca-Cola in there. Yes, I know. It's Coca-Cola, whatever. But I'm like, okay, that's my drink. What do you got, Ironcaster?
You got there.
Drinking the same thing I was drinking last time. Getting into the cider, boys. A little grape stomp tonight.
Ooh.
There you go. What about you, LT?
I have a Cabernet Sauvignon that my wife bought for me from Napa Valley in California. It's pretty smooth, let me tell you. The bottle is going down pretty quick.
What a bunch of pansies! What I'm drinking just blows all that out. I mean, you guys make me embarrassed. I almost don't want to tell you what I'm drinking now because it would embarrass you so much.
You
Okay.
drink
I
a
don't know,
wild turkey?
Is
It's
it paint?
It's Ovaltine.
Oh, dude, I love Ovaltine.
Chocolate milk.
I love
I'm
chocolate. Dude,
sorry.
I love Ovaltine.
The hard stuff, guys.
Strawberry or the chocolate?
The rich chocolate Ovaltine. I haven't had that in years. I thought I would grab it. See, the hard stuff, I don't mess around on a Friday night, man.
Oh, dude, VW is going hard. Say I'm drinking Gentleman Jacket Coat. Dude, VW, I just finished my Knob Creek a few days ago. I'm like, I guess I'll get some cheaper until I can just blow off some money on another Gentleman Jack or another Knob Creek. But that Knob Creek, dude, whew, that was good. I see a U.S. Dutch Kitty in the chat. How you doing,
Hey.
U.S. Dutch Kitty?
Hey
And
there.
I see as well Naked Fame. How you doing?
A Liger fan, good to see you.
Yes. Nice to see you all here. So, anyways, yeah, it's been an interesting few weeks going on with the world, and I know VW, I love Knob Creek too. G.I. Joe leaving IDW, and what other franchise left IDW as well, Ironcaster?
That would be Transformers.
Transformers. So this should be exciting news for you, especially. So what do you think of this? I feel like you should be the first to answer on this, since obviously you're the Transformers guy.
Yeah. So largely, what's going on is sales have primarily been down, and IDW as a company has been one that's largely survived just on IPs. I mean, this last year, everyone and their mother, it seems like, went out and bought The Last Ronin from IDW. Like, IDW just became a company for the last few years that had been all about using licensed properties, which unfortunately is met with the downside of those licensees can always pull that away either at the end of the contract, or if they feel like breaching the contract, or however the legalese in that works. And unfortunately, over the last few years, they've been slowly declining. I saw, IDW as a company is publicly traded. I saw their stock price was down to like, actually, I gotta look this up because I don't know if I'm mixing that up with BuzzFeed.
Curious. BuzzFeed. That's
Which I saw was at like 350 today.
No, go and look for that. I see Darth Scipio dropped by. Hey, panel, try Tequila 1800. I can't pronounce this right because I'm a normie. Reposado Anejo. That shit is smooth as silk. Okay. The man has spoken. He says it's smooth, so I'm going to have to take his word of it. As far as that stuff goes, I'm a bit of a normie, but I'm open to try new things. Thank you for the recommendation, Scipio. What'd you get, Ironcaster?
Looks like their stock price is currently at $2.08.
Okay.
And over the past like 5 years ago, it was sitting high. It was sitting a lot higher at like last year. Oh, I'm just freezing up. Yeah, no. Over the last, it's basically dropped in half since over the last year or so, and it's really not looking good for them as a company. They tried to play the game of pushing out properties to Netflix and seeing it and getting stuff picked up, and that just has not worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's really unfortunate because as bad as the G.I. Joe run has been, from everything I've heard, just based on some of the writers having said some really things about a certain day in September, the Transformers run was actually, the Transformers brand was actually handled fairly well with them. They had a like insanely good run of the comics from like 2005 to 2018, which is full of some surprise hits in there.
No, it's good. That's good. And
yeah, it's unfortunate because last year they had Star Wars and they had some Marvel stuff they were starting to do, which those got pulled. Then that then put down onto Transformers and G.I. Joes, to the next biggest brands for IDW, which is now unfortunately dropped them down to, their plan is now, we have to sell more of what we already have. But the problem is, your G.I. Joe guys probably aren't going to be wanting to pick up too many My Little Pony comics.
No, I mean, I get the idea of tapping into different markets for different comics. But here, the thing is, like, the people who will be picking up My Little Pony is fewer and far between. Like, I've gotten them for my children, and they've read some of it, and they could dig it. But they also understand that not many girls are like them and are gonna be into it. Like, my older one, Aria, she loves Dogman, very popular like children's based comic book story by Dave Pilkey, the guy who also created Captain Underpants. She loves Dogman. She has a Dogman blanket. We have a Dogman flag in the room. And then she got her smaller sister. Now they both read Dogman. So it's funny. Like now they're so curious about the comic book. Now Aria, now she's like, Dad, I'm gonna make my own comic. I'm like, yeah, by all means, make your own comic. That's the inspiration right there. If a story like that is getting her little 8-year-old mind to say, I want to make my own comic, awesome. So the fact that she could get into it, and she was telling me about the word balloons, and I was just like, yeah, no, she understands what's going on with the whole, how a comic is going. She understands. She's trying to understand the characters too. So I was telling her about characterization and why it's important. So yeah, and she's listening. So we'll see where it goes. But it's just nice to see it happen, even if it doesn't amount to anything long term. It's just nice to see happen because it's honestly not what I was planning on, and it's not what I expected.
Well, it's got your daughter. You getting into that creative mindset early, and that's the one of the most important things you can do is to help push that creativity that young.
Oh yeah, and like I said, she could get with stories like My Little Pony, but at the same time, she does bring a story like she does like Sonic too. Aria loves Sonic, so she'll read Sonic books as well. So
there you go. That's great.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
Good thing for her.
Man.
Very good for her. IDW has Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, I know. We've gotten some of it, and she likes the older Sonic '90s cartoon better though. As far as the Sonic, she likes the '90s one better. So I've shown her that, and it's just nice. Dragon Master said Nick should get the Dad of the Year award. Hey, I'm just lucky she happens to get into it. Because here's the thing: I don't go with the mindset like, okay, they got to embrace this. I put on, and if they like it, great. If not, hey, you gotta survive with your dad for an hour or two listening to it or watching it. So it works out, and I want to get another little shout to Just Joe 47, the Angry Gamer, and Pope Metallicus the first. How you doing? Nice to see you here. And U.S. Dutch case got interesting concept. Oh yes, even though I would make fan comics of Digimon, Sailor Moon, or Animals, I tried to hand at making comics. I mean, I love drawing 11 by 17 paper. Nice.
Wow,
that's awesome.
That's great. Absolutely.
Hey, Dutch, keep on making that. That's good. So okay, so to Iron, since now obviously with Transformers leaving, what do you think is a possibility of where they could go? Do you think they could end up with someone? Because I heard the rumor about Robert Kirkman on G.I. Joe. I heard about that.
That's what I've heard, and largely those two are always kind of seen as crossing over enough that it almost feels like a package deal. That if you're gonna pick up one, you might as well pick up the other one as well. Because it's like, well, eventually, if you're doing a G.I. Joe book, you're gonna have to bring in some, Autobots and Decepticons in there. It's just kind of the natural like crossover that you're bound to do. 'Cause, like, that's more likely than The Walking Dead.
And maybe an IP is what he needs. I mean, obviously he's making bank off of Invincible, and he's still getting residuals from The Walking Dead, obviously, and he's still writing originals like Die and Firepower, which didn't really like Die, but I do enjoy Firepower, which I've mentioned here on this Comic Shop Talk many times. I do enjoy Firepower. But, I mean, maybe this is his way of getting back into a franchise that maybe if he has a personal interest, maybe he'll respect it with love. I mean, see, I never read his Marvel stuff, so I couldn't tell you how much he respects
I have a little bit
lores that are not his particular thing, because obviously he cares about the stuff that he creates, but how much of that translate when it comes to tackling established IPs?
Well, did he write that much at Marvel, other than like a Marvel team up Spider-Man with the Deadpool stuff?
And
he did Marvel team up for a while.
He did Eric O'Grady Ant-Man. That was the.
That's right. He created it for that. He created that.
Yeah,
I love the Irredeemable Ant-Man. Did you read that one, Nick? I love that.
I originally was intending to read it, but I read the first issue and I actually liked it. and then for some reason I just never got further.
Right.
And maybe now, once again, maybe now's the time. So
Didn't last long enough for me. I was like,
No,
at the
it
time,
was
I
like
wasn't reading
12
anything by
issues.
Marvel. And it was like, 12, 11, whatever it was. There's a trade that compiles them all. That book, again, it was just kind of outside of Marvel, really. It was funny because he really is irredeemable. He really is a complete scumbag. But it was a funny comic, and it took place in the Marvel universe. And none of you read Irredeemable Ant-Man? Any of you? Any?
The name rings a bell. Like, I might be mixing it up with. Oh no! I'm thinking of, there was a different run where they had Scott and Hank team up for like a mini
This
series.
is different. This was he was a. I don't know how that guy ever got in the Shield. Eric O'Grady was a Shield agent who was just guarding what Hank Pym's project from a new Ant-Man armor that he was working on, and ends up taking it, stealing, just to play with it. And the things he does with it are so funny. He truly is just a dirtbag. He's an idiot, but it's a funny comic.
You know what? Maybe I'll have to speed up on reading that. I mean, after I do Daredevil Born Again, maybe I'll have to get into some Eric O'Grady and do a deep cut. Yeah, dude. I was gonna say we might have to. Maybe that could be our follow up, just to do a weird, like, cool, like oddity type of book.
And he is irredeemable. And that's what's.
Well, now you've got my intrigue. Like, I'll buy a lot.
I don't usually like that kind of stuff. It was funny. It was really fun. It was just. I don't know. I liked it a lot.
See, I actually liked I like Scott and Hank. I didn't know much about Eric O'Grady. Obviously, he went on to become Black Ant later on. He would team up with characters like Taskmaster and such. But I didn't
well, they
really
couldn't
get
do
to
that
know
comic
him.
today. He was the size of an ant spot, and basically in Carol Danvers' shower.
Oh,
kind of crap.
Yes, I remember that. Okay, I remember hearing about that at the shop when I was hanging at the shop, and a few of the subscribers were reading it. They were talking about it. I remember this now. Now I see. Now you just sped this up on those. This is gonna come out immediately after Born Again.
And he would be in the Shield hero carrier, messing around like as an ant size in the air vents, having like doing immature crap by like having ant races and stuff and controlling ants and having races and crap, and just doing stupid. He was really a jackass. It was. I don't know how that guy got in the Shield. He was funny as hell.
Oh man, I have to now. Now you got me, Clobbering. You got me. Philbo Baggins, what's up, dude? Hey, Philbo, I'm just letting you know. I got to your package a few days ago. I did receive it. Thank you, by the way. I will get to reading it soon, and I am very thankful for the shirt. By the way, thank you for the shirt. I wish I had this stuff near me. I gotta go get it, but thank you. I can't wait to read it, and I can't wait to see what you have created, dude, and contributed to. So thank you very, very, very much for the package. And also I like the typed written letter with my name on it that you typed. So thank you. That was a nice little touch. I was just like, bro, he typed a letter for me with my name in it. Yeah. So Bilbo, you are the man. I can't wait to read it. And I'll let you know what I know as soon as I get to it. And I promise it'll be sooner than later. Once again, thank you. And Liger fan here, Liger coming in hot with all that great comic knowledge. Eric O'Grady became Ant-Man after Scott died, and Avengers disassembled, and Scott got better. Yes, I do remember that happening after the disassembled thing. I do remember that. So, yeah, no, that's okay. Well, you know what, Clobbering, maybe when you want to do a part 2, we can make Irredeemable our follow-up.
We're gonna do a lot of comics.
Okay, good. Well, we'll have to do Irredeemable then. That could be
fun.
our follow-up. That'll be our follow-up after Born Again. Just do a complete 180. Do a book so different from. It's a perfect contrast.
I got, like I say, I've got I get a bunch of people doing different things. Like 2 of us each time, and we got stuff like lined up soon. We got Monday night is Marvel 2 and annual number 7. Marvel 2 and 1 annual number 7 with Mark D. But we're gonna do. I'm gonna do Kingdom Come fairly soon. The Wolverine miniseries by Frank Miller very soon. Mark D and I probably doing.
I love that miniseries.
Yeah, that was great.
Wolverine is my favorite Marvel character. Actually, my favorite Marvel
Wolverine. Anything
Is it really?
Yeah, as a
That's not even-
Canadian, I kind of have to have him as
Well-
my favorite.
I don't think there's a law. Is there a law over there or something? Or
Maybe. I think
No,
I've
I
got
like it,
every
but-
single issue he's appeared in, and that's a lot.
Oh, really? What? Wait, dude, that's how many
I always thought he
warehouses?
was Australian.
How many warehouses do you have?
Now there might be a couple of appearances that he's appeared in the last 5 years that I might have missed, but anything before
yeah.
that, I've got I don't know, a half dozen long boxes of just Logan.
Wow,
Wow.
dude.
Thoth. I'm just saying, if I'm ever up in Canada, you may have to give me this thing called a tour.
I want to see that.
Yeah, right. Maybe I'll somehow kidnap Clobbered with me. Maybe I'll stuff him in a
trip.
plane somewhere, and then we'll kidnap Ironcaster on the way. It'll be great. And then we're on our way to visit Lord Thoth. And when we get to the border, stop asking questions.
gonna
We're
shoot
crossing
us.
through.
Oh yeah, we'll just
What
go
are you
hop.
guys
We'll just
doing
go
here?
hop in the boat and hit across the lake. You know.
I've got some good
That's
friends
Irish.
at CBSA, so you just let me know, and I'll let them know you're coming.
Oh, yes.
And he'll say, "Don't let these guys in here. Come on,
Maybe. Hey, Fenrir, it's good to see you.
man."
Hey, boys, how's it going?
Long
Hey,
time no
dude.
see.
Congrats on 200.
Yeah, thanks. I got him for doing absolutely nothing.
Congrats.
I'm proud of that. I did nothing and I earned it.
It was just meant to be, dude. Just take it,
Right.
take it and enjoy the victory, man. That is
Take
what
it.
victories
And hey,
are
on the
made
plus
of.
side, it's not like you can disappoint them.
No, I cannot.
You can try.
So,
Yeah. Okay, so what did I miss?
we were talking about the G.I. Joe and Transformers no longer being part of IDW. We're still on the subject. We kind of took a little detour, or we're kind of bringing it back into it.
I
Casper was
detoured,
sounding
sorry.
off on I detour.
Sorry.
Casper was no, it's all good, dude. Casper was sounding off on his thoughts, and my next question was going to be from, like, we kind of started answering with Kirkman, and could end up in his hands. What are other possibilities? Do you think they could go with like Dark Horse or Boom? Like, what do you see as the ideal spot for these IPs to go, as far as who can maybe take it and respect it from where it comes from? What do you think?
So I think that at the current point, right now, just because it's also a Hasbro property, my mind goes to the way that Boom is handling the Power Rangers, and they're doing pretty well with that. That's also
absolutely.
a Hasbro property that has done insanely well. That the Kickstarter for the collected editions did like what $3 to $5 million. It's been a very popular run.
People love
And-
Power Rangers. People love Super Sentai. It's an amazing brand. And the stories have actually been good, so yeah, people want to buy.
Yeah, and it seems like they're definitely leaning into those three in some of the other industries. Considering in tabletop gaming, there's a non-Hasbro company is handling the tabletop RPG licenses for those, which all three of those have a core RPG book coming out for in the next 2 months.
And I agree
So
with what U.S. Dutch Kitty is saying right there.
Let
Absolutely.
me look for a
100% agree.
comment.
Yep.
Okay, see, Dutch K says, I hope Boom is watching how things are going to IDW and going, Power Rangers is our baby. Reverse course, none woke. You know, that is a good point, because the Power Rangers comics, both Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin, are both doing good at Boom. And let's not forget, Boom also has Once in Future that's doing well. They also have, of course, Berserker that's still doing well, 6 issues in, with number 7 coming out in February. So and of course they got their Something Is Killing the Children, which it's not my type of book, but they do have a fan base for that book. So Boom is actually they're actually winning. They're actually winning, and that's good for them.
Anybody know if they're gonna change the theme soon from Mighty Morphin to Zeo?
I don't know. I only read the first 2 arcs of Power Rangers, which I enjoyed. I read 1 through 8, which were books 1 and 2.
It seems like they're
I
getting close
enjoyed
to
it.
passing.
Well, the thing is, they've kind of largely just been spreading out with some of the stuff because they've effectively gone into what is it, basically the second season of the show with the replacement Rangers. But I see no reason why they should just effectively end that main roster, because I think at the end of the day that original like Mighty Morphin team is the one everyone thinks of. I mean, to the point that the movie from 4 or 5 years ago, it was copying that team. Like as much as I think a lot of people would like to see some of the later teams, which we have seen in some of the crossover events.
Yeah,
I think the money's with that Mighty Morphin team, to the point that the RPG I had mentioned is themed after the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team, to the point that they are selling a $300 bundle of like 6 players' handbooks, with each book being themed after one of the main Rangers of that era.
See, that's a very much a 90s property. That's not a my property. You're talking G.I. Joe and Transformers is more of my property, as I grew up in the 70s and as a teenager in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I think that, so this isn't a property for me, but I know I have a niece and nephew that are big into the Power Rangers. They absolutely love it. It already is a great property with strong female characters, strong male characters, great story. It's fun. It's out there. It's crazy, and that's why everybody loves it. It's colorful. It's got some really good character development, and so when we're looking at the properties, you're talking about the comic properties when they're moving. So IDW is losing all those properties for obvious reasons. We've probably all heard about the stuff behind the scenes, about the financial issues they've had. We don't really need to go into that and how they've kind of imploded. Not a great company, but
Nope.
You know, I'll be buying the G.I. Joe role-playing game book. I'll be buying the Transformers role-playing game book because I'm a tabletop guy. I've been dungeon mastering Dungeons and Dragons since 1978. I'm a big tabletop guy. I'm a role.
No, I wouldn't buy the modern Dungeons and Dragons. It's getting too ridiculous.
All right, so
it should be fun. Yeah.
So you might want to consider looking at the Power Rangers one, because all 3 of those systems are supposed to be compatible. So at the very least, there are elements from it you might be able to just kind of pull over and use into the other stuff if you want to have that big crazy mashup of like effectively like the Power Rangers are basically a superhero team.
Yeah, it's a really cool property, and I think that there's a lot of fans out there that you could bring back to comic books and bring back to gaming and stuff just based on that property if you market it right. I think that what's going on today is that there's a lot of stuff going on in the tabletop role-playing game community that's causing a lot of dissension, and a lot of people are kind of, there's two sides of the fence here, right? So there's the newer gamers who are all woke, SJW, all that stuff that's going on, and then there's the traditional role-playing gamers that don't want anything to do with that. And I would like to believe that the larger percentage of gamers are more on the side of how do I do this by being general audience, that just feel like, you know, we're just going to have fun. We're going to game. We're not worried about politics. We're not worried about all of that stuff that's going on that's causing all this dissension. We just want to have fun. A lot of it is you have your own gaming groups, and you know you can bring those games to your own group and not have to worry about that stuff. So these properties are untapped resources, if you ask me. IDW had a great run with Transformers.
Absolutely market for those licensed properties. I mean, to the point that out of nowhere on Drive-Thru RPG, a random game, Ascendant, a superhero-themed RPG, shot straight up the list to become one of the best sellers on the website of like the current of like modern day.
It's a good system. A little bit too wordy and mathematically for me nowadays, but yeah, it's a pretty cool system. I like it. You know, I'll be honest. I think that Transformers and G.I. Joe could really have a good niche there, and if they find a right company, they could have a great run. I have a 1/3 scale Scarlet G.I. Joe statue downstairs. She's my favorite character. # Save Gingers. I love that character, and And of course everybody loves Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and stuff. But that's a great opportunity for a role-playing game too. And same for Transformers. I think that might be a little more difficult, but Power Rangers is really quite simple to fit a group in. To now you can. I've never been.
You can have anything with Power Rangers. You can have alien adventures, ninjas, magic, everything goes.
I've never been one to play the actual main characters, like the feature characters, like all of the main Power Rangers. But that story can be open to anybody's interpretation, so anyone can be a Power Ranger, and that's what's so welcoming about it.
Yeah,
I've had a chance.
Well,
to look
they have
at
to be
the, at the
teenagers
Power
with
Rangers book
attitude,
so
not
far.
just everybody.
Hold
We
up.
all want to be teenagers again, don't we?
No, I was saying
Yes.
I've had a chance to look at the. I've had a chance to look at the Power Ranger book. I should be getting my physical copy in as soon as my local game store can actually get their hands on it. And like I said, it kind of breaks it down to like each one of the different Ranger colors are like effectively a class. And it kind of plays it up like with a lot of very much a character creation to it, where you don't have to be the characters from the show. You can easily go and do your own thing. I was a little disappointed. There's a lack of monsters in it. There's like only like 13 statted out in it ultimately, but it seems like there's obviously like supplements down the road that they're gonna, of course, sell you on.
Nice. So okay. So Monkey Jeebus popped in. How you doing, Monkey Jeebus?
Monkey
Nice to
Jeebus.
see you here. Says something is killing the children's low print runs. That may be true, but here's the thing: if that's true, the comics that they're putting out there, they're moving. So if they're moving, then it's working. Maybe they should consider putting out more, because one of the shops I go to in my area is one of the biggest ones in my state, and it moves. I mean, that's just. And I like to think if I'm at one of the biggest shops in the state, it's got to be a decent indicator of how it goes on. I guess maybe within the country, if it's also been around for 27 years now. They've obviously are very well established, but that's a subject for another day. But I see Moira Kitty. How you doing, Moira? Nice to see you. And the lovely Sherry. Hello to you as well. Thank you.
Lovely Sherry and Moira. Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah,
Ladies.
thank you both for dropping by.
A lot of ladies here tonight. We like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow they don't run away from us anymore.
I'd like them to fire away on what if they're reading comics or anime or what they're doing. Because I know U.S. Dutch Kitty mentioned D&D. I love that she's playing 5th edition. My gaming group right now is 5th edition, although it's a little paused because of COVID up here in Gestapo, Canada. But we're getting back to it as soon as possible. And half my gaming group, well, I shouldn't say that. 2 out of the 5 players are girls, ladies, women. I don't know what's the politically correct term, but and they're loving it. And let me tell you, they're the dominant party members. So I'd like to hear what they're reading or what they're gaming with.
Also, just to point it out, we do talk about we do tend to talk more tabletop stuff on T-shirt Historians on Saturday. So.
That's
come on by tomorrow if you want to.
There is an amazing panel on that show every Saturday night, and not just because Ironcaster is on it. It's awesome.
But that helps.
Yeah, we've got some interesting stuff with that kind of woke in the woke fighting going on there, where one of the panelists on there was basically name dropped in a hit piece video. Which was
no
Grim Jim.
That's always fun to feed.
Is a good guy.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he put out a video today talking about it.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
I'll pull it up. I'll drop the link in the chat.
No, by all means, please do, man. That's awesome. So okay, so we're fairly hopeful that hopefully G.I. Joe and obviously Transformers has a hopeful future. We shall see. I hope for the best.
The only thing they need to remember to make G.I. Joe work is that the story is about real American heroes saving the world. And not communistic bullcrap. A bunch of lesbians.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, let's put it this way: if it's with Boom, it has a shot of succeeding because Boom, they seem to have original material that sells, but when they need books that are based off established IPs that people seem to be into as well, if they're respecting where those properties came from, that's a good sign, and it lets me know, okay, hey, we might have a shot at, if this goes to boom, of course. Obviously, something else could happen. It could end up with like the big two or something, or it could end up in someone else's hands entirely. But hypothetically speaking, boom sounds so far as of now like the best case scenario. So yeah.
Well, I've been enjoying Firefly. I've been enjoying
I heard
Angel and
Firefly was
Buffy.
good.
Yeah, I've been enjoying Firefly for the last couple of years. I'd have to say that Boom has been one of the best comic book companies, putting out some interesting stuff for a long time now. Shout out to Mahler. That I'm an absolute fanatical fan of Buffy, especially the Angel TV series. I love it. My wife and I both love that kind of a show, and I really I miss it. Not to say anything about Josh Whedon and what he's been really shooting off his mouth and saying stuff he shouldn't be, but the property itself has been really good, and Boom's been doing a really good job with them.
Yeah, and Pope is right. This is Boom's time to shine. They're like they're literally having the best of both worlds right now. They're having the established franchises that they're winning with the Power Rangers, but then they got celebrities like Keanu Reeves attached, but also for not only to be attached, but for the book to actually be enjoyable, and also to have a great legendary established penciler like Ron Garney, whom I love. Maybe I could try getting him on here one day. That'd be a dream. Just an idea, only in a dream world. But
see what I can do.
Yeah, right. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, Boom is in a good spot to be like, hey, we can pick up the slack where these other companies are. So I hope, man. I mean, we do need a company that's gonna. And they're also putting out stuff frequently too. That's what helps, is that they got frequency on their side, and the material and the paper on the Boom books, dude. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, even like I'll put this way, I'm not a variant guy, but I love the paper on the variants. Like, that paper is nice, strong, hard paper. Like the cardstock that they use for a lot of their covers, I'm like, dude, this should be like standard. This should be the standard for like regular comic book paper. Seriously.
Yeah, like I did notice that like my little bag of comics was standing a lot more firm because I had a Boom book in there.
Yeah,
it's like
Boom makes the difference.
Well, they've been putting out Berserker. Which, by the way, if anybody out there knows, it's the Keanu Reeves series that's been just kind of up and down, but it's been wild, that's for sure. The Expanse, I know that from Foul Ball Productions will appreciate that. It's been kind of an interesting series. Like I said before, Buffy and, of course, Angel. There's some really, really good series that they've been putting out. The Last Witch has been quite interesting. Yeah, it's Boom's been really doing some great stuff, and what can I say? It's great to have a smaller company really push some really good stuff.
Yeah, because they're not assholes
yet. Dragon Master, you're breathtaking.
No, you're breathtaking.
540 Studios, what's up, guys? Nice to see you. I'm assuming that's Jace. How you doing? And the mighty Jaffo. Jaffo sent me an email a few weeks ago of some art that he's working on. It's absolutely awesome, and I stand by that sentiment. And Jaffo, Comics has a member stream coming up this week, and I hope to be around. I would love to chat with you, man. It would be great to actually properly meet you. That would be great, seriously. So forgive me, guys. I think I see a taco in front of me. So bear with me.
Go for it, dude. Handle it.
Wait, it's not Tuesday.
Nachos. It's nachos. It's nachos.
Oh, okay, you can have that.
Gotcha. Go for it, bro.
Oh, I'm going for it. You guys talk.
Chug.
Let's see. All right, everyone. Let us see who can ruin Nick's channel first.
Last comic I'm going to plug for Boom. Once in Future. If you're going to read that title, you got to read it from issue number 1. but it's an Arthurian legend that goes awry, and it's chaotic, it's crazy. You've got Beowulf that comes involved. It's got dragons. It's got modern take because it's in a modern, and it's all about legends and lore, and it's about this old lady who brings her grandson into the fold, and they realize that those ancient stories are coming true, and they want to tear down society the way it is. It's just crazy. It's chaotic. Wow. I think it's up to issue 25 or 26 now. I've been reading it since issue number 1, and it's better to, because once you start reading it, if you read it monthly and then you start from issue number 1 and you've read it over the last couple of years, you're into 26 and you're going, wait a minute, did that happen back in issue 5 or 6? But if you get it now and you get the trade paperbacks and you start reading it from issue number 1 right till number 25, well, make sure you have a stiff drink beside your bedside while you're reading it, because it is a wild ride. But I recommend it highly. It's Lord Thoth's A+ comic books to read from the modern sensibility.
And someone asked, which book was that again?
Once and Future.
Once and Future.
Oh, like Once and Future King.
Exactly. Because it starts out about the Arthurian legends, and Merlin and Arthur are bad guys. So it's really crazy.
Oh, that is a huge swift.
Yeah, and because it's in the modern age, and that myths and legends start coming true, and if the people believe in them, they actually get solid in our world. And once they get a foothold, they want to take it over, and they want to take it and make it into what they remember back in, say, the 12th century. So it's a crazy wild ride, but it's you really need to go into it thinking, okay, this is going to be a challenging read. But if it's a thinking man's or thinking woman's comic book to read, then you're in for a treat.
Wow.
Looks like they've also printed a mouse guard.
Oh my goodness, mouse guard. That was cute in the. When did that come out? In the late 90s, wasn't it?
Maybe 80s or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. Wow.
It looks like they've had Boom's had mouse guard since like 2006, maybe.
Is Once and Future anything like Camelot 3000?
No, because Camelot 3000 is in the future.
3000, yeah.
And where the Arthur and the knights and stuff were good guys. But Once and Future is where it's modern people who are fighting against myths and legends, who are trying to take over our world.
Okay, good question. Is Morgana there?
Gotcha.
She makes an appearance, yes.
Okay, is she evil?
Of course she is. She's Morgana.
Good, because choosing the good guys, that wouldn't sell out for me.
Bad guys.
I'm glad you mentioned Once in Future Thought, because I have the first trade. I finally got around to reading volume 1 of Once in Future, which I really enjoyed. So now I need to get my hands on a volume 2, because trying to find the singles of these looks very, very difficult. So I was like, especially for some of those first few issues. So I'm like, screw it. The trade it is. I'm not that picky, especially the trade editions. Nice, thick, strong paper. And the Boom paper on singles is already great to begin with. So it's like a big bonus for the trades. But I really enjoyed the story. Lots of action too. I was like, oh, dude, we get swords. We get supernatural in it too. It gets medieval times. So I'm all in on Once in Future. So I can't wait to read more.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, but dude, I didn't expect it. I was like, bro, this is great.
It's one of the oddest things to be keep going back with Boom about, is just keep talking about the paper quality.
Dude, it really does make the difference.
Yeah, it just on its own, it just seems so weird to keep. And mind you, I do it. I keep saying the paper is so good, but it's like thinking like I keep going back and harping about it. It's like you basically had to tell a person, just pick one of those books up, flip through it, have a feel for it. There is a textile feel that makes paper comics as good a medium as they are. I do not want to read those books digitally. I want to read those in paper. I want to feel that
Feel the paper.
That paper stock.
Oh, see, and that's the difference maker. That's what makes that great. So Chernobyl here. How you doing, Chernobyl? Try out the comic called Barbaric. It's a 5 or 6 issue run. It's very good. I think I read the first issue. I think I did.
There's 3. So the first series is 3.
Yeah, I think I read the first one.
Yeah, I've got the first 3. Has the second series come out yet, Chernobyl? I only have the first 3. I didn't know issue 4, 5, and 6 had come out yet.
Oh,
how's it going, Marby Dog? Nice to see you here. Yeah, no, I feel like I could be mistaking Barbaric for something else, but I think I've read the first issue of that. Regardless, no, it's nice to see the market booming. Ooh, what do you got, Ironcaster? Let's see what you got.
I think this is it.
No, I did not read it. Okay, yeah, for sure I didn't. It's Michael Marecki. So, what do you know about this, Caster?
Nothing. I've never heard of this. I just
Oh.
I just pulled it up. I didn't know if this was it or not, but I'm liking the look of it so far. It's kind of got my interest.
For a second there, I thought you were going to show up some Zakus.
TZ Canadian in the house. How you doing, dude?
I went to a comic shop today for the first time in ages. Didn't buy anything. There was nothing that could interest me, but I went.
But Clobby, you know what? I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, nothing new to actually buy. It's like, what's a good analogy? It's like you walk into one of those a store filled with gold, and you just don't because if you grab something, it turns to shit. God, I have no idea what I'm trying to say. I think I'm drunk.
No, I think
haven't
I
even
know
drank.
exactly what you're trying to say, Fenrir. I think that what's going on in comics today is if you look at 20 titles that are on the shelf today, and I know exactly where you're going, Clobby, is that you look at 20 titles and one might be half decent, maybe. And that's the problem we have today is to try to find a title, a comic book that's good anymore because of the agenda and the crap that they're writing today. And to be honest, you really can't go to DC and Marvel anymore, the big two, because a lot of that stuff is being mandated through whatever their chain of command is. But if you go to the independent companies, those are the ones where I've been enjoying the most titles. And IDW, yeah, absolutely. What Ironcaster just said there a few minutes ago was, those has been some good runs. The G.I. Joe and Transformers run, if you were into those titles. But look what I've been talking about, Boom comic books. Who would have thought that Boom Comics would be some of the best comic books that have come out in the last 5 years?
Dude, and I would never expected that. That's great that you mentioned that thought. That's awesome to know that. Like if you had told me years ago that Boom would have been like I guess you could say a competitor, and I would dare I say legitimate competitor, I would have never believed it. But yet here we are, and I'm glad that it's happening though, because they're actually winning, and it's nice to see. And we need a substitute, that's for sure. Like don't get me wrong. There's a few Image books I'm either enjoying or, just getting done enjoying. Like I really enjoyed the Me You Love in the Dark. That was Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. I really enjoyed that story, and that was like a whole like a Shining thriller type of horror style story. That was a mini series I really enjoyed. Oh yes, Ironcast. Yeah, show off those big robots and big toys. And I see a Guy Vermectin in the chat. How you doing, Guy Vermectin? Hopefully your Friday night's going good. Thank you for dropping in.
Oh, Ivermectin, yeah. Good to see you, man.
Yeah. Always nice to see all the little...
I know Philbo Baggins and I have been talking about Thaco to hit Armor Class 0, brother, forever. Absolutely. And Pope Metallicus the first there, and talking about the Ultramarines and Dark Angels, Warhammer 40K. It's great to see some of you in the chat, getting a chance to chat with you about that. Warhammer 40K, man. What's happened to that how can I say this without going into some details about the message, as Critical Drinker says? It's tough what's going on in in tabletop gaming. 40K, you know.
How can they possibly try to put a message? Isn't the whole concept of Warhammer that no one is good, everyone's evil?
Right.
One person went to an event in like Spain, and it caused the whole thing where like on like the main website of like Games Workshop for Warhammer, they had to put out a PSA about how like they don't believe in all the.
All right.
We just want to throw down our miniatures that we've spent hours and hours and hours painting and just take on the next guy. I don't care if it's a girl. I don't care if it's a guy across from me. I just want to roll the dice and kick their ass. That's all I want to do, right?
That's the best way to live, man.
Politics or the agenda or the message. It's just having fun. And that's what we're here about. That's why we're talking about comic books, gaming, that kind of stuff. It's just about having fun. It's not about the agenda. It's just, you know what? 40K is awesome. D&D is awesome. All of that stuff is awesome. And that's what we make.
At the right hand, that is.
That's right.
And I mean, the sad thing is, as a result of a lot of that going on, a lot of Warhammer people were starting to flee from that game into like BattleTech.
Never heard of it.
No, I know Ironcast knows BattleTech. So hey, why don't you pitch out BattleTech and
if you want big stompy robots, some of which bear a striking resemblance due to Macross and Robotech. In a universe where there are no aliens, it is just humans acting like acting like future knights with houses going to war with one another for control of planets and solar systems. You just might like some BattleTech. Razorfist has done a lot of videos on it.
In 1989,
it's this crazy mix of Warhammer, Gundam, and pretty much.
Fenrir. Hold on.
No, go ahead, Fenrir. I'll go after you, Fenrir.
All right. Go ahead, Fenrir.
Oh wait, am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's this crazy mix of Gundam and Macross and all the other franchises into one. Then.
So. I mean, Razorfist can give you a lot more information on it, and I highly recommend his videos on the subject. But mind you, BattleTech is more like kind of Western inspired, and not so much the Japanese inspired, where they are basically big giant tanks.
Yeah, I'm a huge, absolute fanatically huge BattleTech fan. I actually won an Anvil tournament back in 1989 with a dragon. So I have.
Oh, you're Karita?
No, I'm actually Davian, but at the time it was just a random mech draw. So that's what we did. We had this championship where there was 64 of us. We all randomly drew our mechs, and I happened to unfortunately draw a dragon. So everybody I played at the cowardly game where I was on the edges and stuff. Anyway, so it ended up me in the end being the champion, and so I got the little trophy, and and the great thing about an Anvil tournament, if those of you out there who know about BattleTech, when you win an Anvil tournament, every time you defeat the mechs across from you, you get to put them up on a metal slate with a big hammer and crush their mech. And you hammer their mech. So it is just amazing playing an Anvil tournament.
And mind you, these were metal minis.
That's right. The old classic minis, man, in the 80s. It was a good time. It's BattleTech is and there's a great story behind it too. I used to get all the novels back in the 80s. I couldn't wait for the next one. And then they introduced the clans and just, all of that stuff is great. And there's no politics involved. There's no agenda. It's just all about having fun and, and challenging those, your opponents. And that's what it's all about, tabletop warfare and tabletop gaming. And it's about having fun. That's what we should be doing now.
It could be
agreed.
For anyone who wants to get into wargaming. BattleTech is probably a good way to go. It's probably a good way to go, especially if you don't have the unlimited funds that Warhammer 40K seems to demand. Because for about $30, you can buy a little box of like 4 or 5 mechs, and that's enough to play.
Yeah, that's right. And I know that BattleTech just had a huge gargantuan Kickstarter that just finished a few months ago, and I just got that big box of mountains of mechs. Somehow I have to find the time to paint, but it's a joy. I love seeing that. I love seeing the classic stuff from the 80s and 90s. It's just
Unfortunately, it's not
amazing.
going to show up well here, but I was just priming a few of mine today.
Ooh, let's see that.
I gotta see.
Unfortunately, they're all prime black right now. I'm gonna go for the Free Worlds League
Warhammer?
for.
No, wait, I can't see it. Warhammer?
That was a Warhammer. Yeah, that was a Warhammer. My favorite right now is the Archer.
Oh, the good old classic Archer. Jamie
And
Wolf,
of course.
from Wolf's Dragoons was the Archer.
Ooh.
A little urban mech.
Oh,
Everyone's lovable little trash can.
Dude.
They're all black right now. So once I actually get some actual color on them, I gotta get a little bit of that purple in there.
So, quick question: you're priming them black. Why are you choosing black? Are you going dark colors, or?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going for some dark colors, and that way it can kind of help offset a lot of the panel, the kind of the panel lines in that.
Yeah,
Was the theory going into it?
I noticed a lot of them. The edges were pretty rough. You have to actually do a little work on them afterwards. I won't go into details for the chat because it's all us,
Tabletop
dealing with
nerding
miniatures and but because normally I do a dark gray when I prime them. But yeah, the only time I ever use black is if I'm going to do like greens or reds or dark colors. But is that what you're planning?
Honestly, it was one of the first colors I was grabbing. A lot of it's an experimenting phase for me. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Plus,
Man.
I get a lot of for like $20.
Nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Man, no. So I just got a whole education lesson from you guys, or at least like a sliver of an education lesson, should I say, on this Warhammer. My extent of knowledge was, well, growing up listening to Cannibal Corpse, their singer Corpse Grinder was very obsessed with World of Warcraft to the point where if you look at the album credits, he says, I love my wife, my kids, my stupid band, but I hate the Alliance. So that's how he had the credits. I hate the Alliance. And there's a video on YouTube. It's one of those. It was at the time. It used to be one of the most popular videos on YouTube. It's Corpse Grinder goes off on the Alliance, and I didn't understand it because to me it was just the guy going nuts about video games. But then I would play it for my friends who were, I guess you could say, for the Horde in Warcraft. Like, oh man, I know how he feels. Like, it's so frustrating. So I was watching friends of mine who are on the same side as he is. They're like, oh, I know how he feels. It's so bad. I'm like, oh my god. So I love seeing the commitment of these games, whether it's D&D, Warhammer, Warcraft, like. Clearly,
Warcrack. I love that.
That's why I gave it Warcrack, because there's a buddy of mine. He was one of those guys like he could like totally like get all the girls, but then he met Warcrack, and I didn't see him for like an entire year, and all the girls he probably could have met within that year didn't happen because Warcrack was his love, and that was a real honeymoon, man. I at times I forgot he existed. I'm like, Scott, I know you're alive in there. Knocking at his window. Scott, it's time to come out.
U.S. Dutch Kitty, I appreciate that. My wife is exactly like that. It's the theater nerd in her. She kind of likes she kind of takes over the game when she starts going. She's very charismatic and loud, so it's awesome. I love seeing, like, my gaming group is just amazing, and that's what's so much fun about role playing and gaming across the tabletop with everybody else. It's a small group. And even if you're strangers, you really quickly become friends because you get to see that inner soul of that person when they're playing their character, and they grow to love that character. You're telling a story, and then they respond to all the elements and everything going on. So theater nerds are perfect for gaming. So that's just awesome.
I feel that was the way it was meant to be.
Comments. Yeah.
I just had a thought. Nick Wise the Barbarian.
Nick Weiser the Barbarian.
I'd go more with Nick Weiser the Devourer, but
So, all right. So I finally got a hold of, after 14 months, I got a hold of a PS5.
I mean, now that I think about it, I think I can figure out everyone's single character from now. Thought would be one of those scribes. Ironcaster would be a dwarf, definitely, because of obvious reasons. Nick would be, I don't know, what are those guys that consume everything? Pat,
I don't know.
Black hole.
yeah, pretty much. And Clobbering would be, he'd be an orc. I would be a paladin, definitely, but
Okay.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, Cowabunga it is, We're orking it up now. So I finally got a hold of a PS5 after 14 months, and it's still in the box. I still haven't had a chance to take it out. I'm hoping to take it out tomorrow after I do the dump with Sporking, but I got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and I got that new Guardians of the Galaxy game. And the reason I originally was going to just not play Guardians, look into it at all, but then my brother played it. He told me about how fun it was. And then another person told me about how it was. And then my brother Mike was like, yeah, have you ever heard of this character called the Magus? I'm like, hold on. The Magus is in it? Like, I was like,
yeah,
okay, I have to play this game. I went to Walmart and picked up a copy. I'm like, okay, I have to play this because, so he's like, apparently there's a lot of comic book based characters in this game too. And like, there's some influence from the movies, but apparently there's more influence from the books. So, and it's actually a fun story to play. So I'm like, okay, I can't believe I'm saying I actually had
but here's a tip. Here's a tip. You should customize the characters to look more into the classic design. It doesn't actually do anything to the story, but it gives more spirit to it.
No, and that's good that they give that option too. That's awesome that they give that option. It's good to know that there's a Marvel game outside of Spider-Man or the Hulk where they actually put some love into it, because it's like,
especially after the whole Avengers one.
Oh yeah, disaster. Which we won't go there. So I was just like, all right, no, I'm actually curious to try it, and I can't wait to get on playing and see the Magus and see a bunch of other cool cosmic characters. Apparently, there's a lot of references.
Yeah, but I feel they've disappointed on the designs of a few others.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know yet fully. But all I do know is the fact that they were looking at the books is awesome. So I'm excited is all I'm trying to get at. I'm excited. So allow me to be excited, damn it.
Yeah.
Let me be excited. I'm gonna
be like to be excited about stuff, eh?
It is. No.
I don't get there that much anymore, so when I get it, I like to hang on to it as long as I can, buddy.
By all means, dude. Hang on to that feeling, man, because it's a hell of a good feeling. No, I'm trying to think, like, I read Gunslinger this week, and Gunslinger Spawn. I think Ironcaster got it. It was pretty good.
That was bad.
No, it was decent.
I still gotta read it.
I do. I like
King Spawn.
Brett Booth gets a lot of flack, which I never personally understood. I like his stuff. I don't love what he does, but I like it. I think it's, his style is definitely not for everyone. But I do give him credit for being distinct. You see it and you know immediately it's Brett Booth. Like, he's definitely very distinct. I'm like, okay, that's Brett Booth right there, and right away, like, I'll give him credit for that. But I'm curious to see where this first arc is gonna wrap up and how it's gonna end, because now that we got this modified version of the clown that's mixed with this whole other being, I'm like, okay. And obviously, I love how he's just all about his hat. He's got to have the hat, man. He's got to keep that Western look going.
Real quick before it gets away, Marby Dog in the chat.
Let me see. Which comment here from Marby Dog. Frost doesn't like PS5, so I don't like PS5. That subject has been so talked about. I talked on one panel about it, and that was last week's dump when Neurotic was on, which I was like, I guess I'll talk about it in this one panel, but I'll let everyone else have that one. Besides the one panel I did talk about, everyone else, I'm like, you guys can have it. Like, you guys have your piece. It does need to be discussed as far as culture war. I get it. But I'll let you guys have the rest. I got to say my piece, and my piece was good one time. It's all I needed. It's out of my system, and I feel good. I feel better after it. So, no more.
I've said enough on it. I saw that comment. I had to like at least share the. I'm like, this is funny. Nick,
oh no, it
funny.
totally is. No, of course we always gotta acknowledge and look at the funny. But yeah, there's Gunslinger that came out this week. I know next week there's the 80-page giant on Geiger that hits as well. So I'm and I think that I don't know if that's supposed to be like some one-off book that maybe shows off the world of Geiger. If I had to guess, that's probably what it is. But I did enjoy Geiger. I thought that was a cool story. Obviously it'll be sometime before Gary Frank gets to Arc 2. So my guess is another year, knowing Gary Frank and how he does his pencils. So I hope I'm wrong, but it's just I know how the history of how Gary Frank operates. So it'll be some time. That's just the realistic. One book is disappointing me though, and I was actually reading it and buying it, and like at first I enjoyed the first 2 issues, but now it's disappointed me every issue since. Blue and Gold, man. Like the characterization is there, but the story just does not entertain. It's not like it's woke or intersectional or PC or anything. It's really not any of those things. It started off super fun and heartfelt, but now it's just been an absolute drag since.
I agree 100%.
3, 4, and 5. And for me, it's heartbreaking for me because I love these 2 characters, and I'm like, and I'm saying that I'm like, come on, I want to be invested in this story. And it's almost like I'm at a point where it's just like, do I finish it? Like, do I really want to be a completist that much? Like, can they really turn around with 3 issues? Because they started off strong with 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 just been an absolute drag. It's just really unfortunate. So it's just like, but in case they do drag, I am looking forward to Sean Gordon Murphy's Batman Beyond the White Knight. That's the only Batman book I will be curious to buy for the first time in like many years. Because that's where,
this whole year and the
Gary
previews
McGinnis.
felt like a huge Batman fatigue.
Oh, I know. And that's because I don't read all that, I don't get the fatigue, which I can imagine if I was, I totally would. And Dragon Master is asking, Sean Gordon Murphy, he is the Batman White Knight universe, and he's got a miniseries called Beyond the White Knight, and it's based on Terry McGinnis, a.k.a. Batman Beyond. So that's a miniseries.
So is Terry going to take the mantle, or it's in his universe where he does the same plot as Batman as the White Knight?
I mean, it'll probably be a further down the line continuation of that universe.
Oh, it's
with
totally
the things
gonna be continuation. You know that. I just hope that it's good because White Knight was good. What's that one? Curse of the White Knight? Was that the foul Curse of the White Knight? It was something like that. That was good. And then there was a Harley Quinn one that was good. So, and it's still obviously SGM doing the writing and the penciling, and then I can't remember what's his face is on the color. So it's consistent team. I can get with that. I can definitely dig and respect the consistency. And there was a Black Label book that had me interested. It was called Rogues, which is supposed to be on Captain Cold, Heatwave, Golden Glider, and all that, the Trickster and all them, Mirror Master and Weather Wizard. And it's supposed to be basically like like their stories like The Dark Knight Returns, where it's the aged Batman, except imagine the Rogues are aged, and now they're trying to do one last hurrah mission. And I was like, I like the Rogues. I like the cheesiness. I love Captain Cold's suit. I've always been the biggest supporter of those weird squinty eyes on his glasses. So it's just like, I'd like to see a Rogue
glasses.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Rogue story of them trying to get one last mission in. And of course, it's non-continuity, so I will admit that Rogue story does have my intrigue from the Black Label aspect. So I am thinking about checking it out, is all I'm saying. Because, well, dude, it's nice to say, okay, we got a book that is coming out and it's not a Batman book. Because, dude, they are exhausting Batman to death. Granted, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Reeves already declared a couple of spin-offs too for his freaking movie. Too much Batman, man. Just use other characters. People are gonna get sick of him soon enough.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing, and just with the comics alone, they're doing that, and it's just like we gotta learn that we can't just apply. It's just like, oh, we got a problem here, throw the Batman wrench on it, throw the Batman wrench, that'll solve everything. And it's just such a disservice to the other characters. Like we're lucky. Like I guess maybe right now we aren't as I thought we would be to begin with. I was gonna say we're lucky to have a book like Blue and Gold, but with the quality or lack thereof, now that's questionable. Though I did enjoy from Black Label The Question, The Debts of Vic Sage, because
we need more books on The Question. The guy is very underused.
Bill Sienkiewicz on the inks and on Dennis Cohen on the pencils, and and that was a Black Label one and done story. So no prior attachment needed. You just jump in, jump out. So it's nice if we can get all these other characters cool stories. Be like, hey, here's something different. But in case they don't, you know what? I'm not gonna sweat anymore because The Last Ronin hits February 16th, the last issue of the TMNT, The Last Ronin, and I cannot.
Oh man, I'm
wait.
so excited for this one.
That's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. I don't know how our brain's gonna process that.
Yeah, would it be kind of weird as a form of anthem preparation if we kind of listened to a bunch of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme songs before starting it?
Oh my god, dude.
It would kind of be soul building. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we have it that much.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Clobby.
There actually is one title, believe it or not, a current title I've actually started following. Hey, I'm shocked as you are.
Which one? Which one?
There's only 2 issues of it out. You know that Thing miniseries out there? I'm sure Thoth knows about it.
Yes. I know about it.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I know about it.
Yeah, I read the first 2. Third one came out this week. I haven't grabbed a digital of it yet, but I guess I will continue to. It's the one by Walter.
Is it any good?
No, I haven't liked the first 2 issues. I thought were terrible, to be perfectly honest with you, especially the story, actually, and characterization. The art.
Not surprised. I already said modern Marvel can't write Ben Grimm.
Yeah, but see, this is, and I agree, but this is the big deal about this one was supposed to be because it was by Walter Mosley, a well-known author, and who was a big fan of the Fantastic Four. He's the one that Maximum Fantastic Four book that he about Fantastic Four #1. He had that made. He's a huge FF fan, very well known, but he just, I don't know what the hell he thinks he's writing. Have you read it, LT? Or?
Yeah, I read the first couple issues.
Yeah, I don't know what he thinks he's writing. I don't know who he thinks he's writing.
I thought I was alone. I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just maybe I'll finish it, but
it's not Ben Grimm.
No, it's not, and I don't think at this point. I thought maybe by the second issue we could find a good explanation for that. Second issue was terrible, and I don't know what you think of that kind of art. I know, look, all these modern art styles. I mean, some of it looks okay, but it's just can't get into it.
No,
again, dude, I really suggest just go back to the old good old stuff because the modern guys can't do anything.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I mean, yeah, you know me. I just. Because it's the Thing,
You checked it out. You at least checked out because it was a thing. No, and I get that. Like, I didn't read it at all.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
but I have no intention to. But I can understand where that comes from. Maybe if there was a Human Torch that came out, I probably would, go down the rabbit hole per se as well. Because you know me, Johnny Storm. Besides Strange and Daredevil and Spidey, like I'm a Johnny Storm guy through and through.
Let me clarify on that though. If this had been just something that looked like it takes place in regular horrible New Marvel Comics timeline, no. But they tried to make it sound like this was going to be taking place in a more nebulous bit, sort of in the past, earlier in their time, with nothing beholding the modern continuity, which is probably true. But I want more out of that when you do it. Like, for example, you talk about a Johnny Storm comic. If it's based upon what they've done with him now over the years, I wouldn't be interested. If they did one that just takes place earlier in his life, an untold adventure or something like that. If it looked good, I'd be there too for a jump. And that's what this is kind of what this is sold as. To me, it looked like they were doing. I don't know about you, LT, with it. He was even acting like this is way, way earlier in the FF's past, but look at the time frame of everything you see around him doesn't make any sense.
Well, for me, what sucked me in was some of the covers. So I got a variant cover for
nice.
issue number 1.
They know how to do it. Those covers.
Oh, I said, that is the thing. I love that. I'm going to get this, and then I cracked it open, and I was like, wow, the art inside was just atrocious. And then the story, where is this going? It made no sense to me. It was all, and then I said, okay, I always usually get the first 2 or 3 issues of a comic that I really want to get if it's impressed me. Like the cover was, and I went like the story just makes no sense. It's awful. It's so much a Marvel thing. It's kind of what I've been going through with Moon Knight. The first couple issues of Moon Knight I really loved a lot, and I've got a signed couple of variant covers for the first couple issues. And
you know what cover almost sold me in a book this past week?
Silver Surfer?
She-Hulk.
I got that first issue. It actually wasn't bad.
Whoa!
I was looking at that cover. And I was looking at that cover. She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters, the classic onesie,
how'd that
swimsuit.
You're right. How'd that happen? Right.
Ooh, wait. What's this?
Let that happen?
No, seriously, who did let that happen? I was talking to Wes from Thinking Critical, great channel by the way. Shout out to Wes from Thinking Critical. He was mentioning how we were talking about. He was talking about how he really enjoys Strange Academy. Even his son, he has his son read it, and it's nice to know that that's a book that it's because a lot of the Marvel books start off as anyone can read it as long as they happen to enjoy the story for what it is. And I'm definitely in the almighty curious category of Strange Academy because I looked in the press. It's almost like a Hogwarts school type, like with a bunch of kids learning about the magic and the supernatural. And you have Doyle, who's the son of Dormammu, and you got some original characters in there as well. You got a few Asgardians in there. Brother Voodoo's in there as well. So I was just like, and you got Humberto Ramos doing the pencils. And I know he's a very divisive artist for many people. I've always liked it. I feel like he was one of the good cartoony-ish type of pencilers. I've always liked it. I feel like he definitely does good with stuff. He's definitely a guy that I could see I could see why they would not like it. But I feel like he definitely does it better. And also, I do like when Scotty Young actually writes as well. I really liked his, besides Middle West and the Me You Love in the Dark, he had I Hate Fairyland for Image, which I really enjoyed. I Hate Fairyland was 20 issues, and boy, was that a joyride. And I'm telling you, it was a joyride. It's so shamelessly fun, and it's this little girl character named Gertrude, who's basically an adult stuck in a little girl's body. And she has to go, she's super nuts and crazy. And she's trying to get out of this world that she can't get out of it. And it's like a fairyland world. And she always says, mother, fluffin', lovin', suffin', lovin' stuffin'. So, like, he takes advantage of the G rating, PG rating, and, like, and goes, like, all nuts with it. It's great. And she hangs out with this animal named Larry. And you don't ever meet a Larry anymore. So, I miss a Larry. Just saying.
I have not heard that name in a long time.
See what I mean? Yeah, it was cool.
I know a few Larrys.
See, that's good. We should all know a little bit more Larry in our life.
So, Coffee, I have a question for you. If I can just kind of jump in here a bit. So you picked up The Thing. Is there any other comic that you've picked up in recent history there? You said you were in a comic shop today, was it? And that you didn't even pick anything up. And is there anything you've been reading at all lately that you've actually enjoyed? I'm kind of curious.
Actually, a buddy of mine picked up that thing comic for me. I wasn't even gonna do it. I was gonna, but I've been too lazy to even go to comic shops much. And then I got a digital of number 2. I didn't even bother to get number 2 as physical, so I'll probably get a digital of the third of the other ones after that. But No, someone brought me a copy of Superman 78. A buddy of mine's trying to get me to read it, and I decided to wait till that's done, and I'll probably read that. But other than I'm trying to think, man. The last time I read a modern comic was I went out to get those. I was trying to get all those Orville comics, and of course I missed a bunch of them. But I like the Orville series. I'm just gonna go ahead and wait till I can track all of those down now because I have a few of those and I like that. Again, that's past couple of years now, of course. Failing that, I bought almost nothing new. Especially, I was buying a bunch. Remember when they were doing those True Believers reprints and those facsimile comics? I was going to the shop regularly just to get those. Not one new thing has. I mean, and I kind of look at it sometimes to see what's out there. Has caught my interest. I mean, I look at the art from a lot of it and just go, I just don't care. I look at it, don't want to. Now, if someone tells me it's really good, I'll believe them. And well, if somehow, kicking and screaming, go and read it. But I don't got them in a way anymore. I was at the shop today and I was looking mostly. We just went there to hang out with a friend of mine there who runs it and pick on him for a little while. I looked at some back issues. Claude bought a couple of back issues and a couple of figures, and then I looked at the new stuff on the racks. And that's the only reason I knew that Thing 3 was out there. And I just looked at those racks. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. It's just, again, I know that makes me the old.
No, dude, I get it, man.
Oh, howdy, Pablo.
Howdy,
ho. Oh,
yeah,
no,
Clobby, I appreciate that because the funny thing is. So I was at an auction last night, and I spent about $400 on old comic books.
Oh my God, your wife must be pissed.
No,
she doesn't know.
She doesn't know, actually.
I didn't hear
You
it.
just admitted in a stream. If she does see this, you're screwed.
Every time a package comes to the door, I say, "Oh, it's nothing, sweetheart. It's like a $20 package from Amazon or something." No, I don't lie to her. I tell her the truth. But I picked up a bunch of in the 200s Superman, and they're all like very fine near mint issues, nice. Right up to Superman 300. Oh, wow. I got 261, 266. Some great issues there. There's like the one where Carol Ferris has her boot down where Superman has to kiss it, like those ones. Like there's some great issues, and I look back, and there was a couple of Marvel or Mighty Thor issues in the 200s as well, back in the classic like 70s, 80s issues. A couple of Captain Marvel stuff, and and the comics are going. So I'm looking at the list here. I'm looking at it right now, and some old Avengers stuff, and $6, $22, $8, $3, nice. $10, 15. But that Superman one was like 90, the one that I really wanted. But that was a bidding war I got in. But all the other ones were all under $30, and it's some great, really good shape, great Silver Age comic books. And nice. And then I go into the comic shop and I'm looking. I looked at a comic the other day. I went into my shop, $8.99 Canadian for a comic book that has 24 pages or whatever.
A modern comic
art. The cover, it's. I know Nick was talking earlier about how or maybe it was Ironcaster. I can't remember, but talking about the floppies that have the cardboard, like the tougher covers, right?
Yeah,
the covers.
Talk about that.
Every DC comic that I get now, which are like there's 4 now, so I've narrowed it to there's like Green Lantern I have to get because I have like every Green Lantern comic, and so it's the card stock, and it's a better cover, but it's like $1 more, so it's like $7 for a comic book for like a handful of pages in it. But where I can go back and I can buy a Superman number 261 for $7. And get a much better story, better art, better color, and enjoy the story more than what I'm getting today in the modern comics, and it's the same price.
And plus, how many of those pages have ads in them?
None.
Really?
You mean the classic ones or today?
I mean the modern.
Yeah, good point.
Changes the game now a little.
Because the only modern comic book from Marvel I'm looking up for is the Alex Ross Fantastic Four. Second time in the 60s, and it has his art. So
I fell into the
with you there.
habit of buying Zine Scope's Grimm's Fairy Tales because of the covers, and those can get
sexy women in great poses.
$5-6 an issue, but on the plus side, they're like all 32 pages minimum with like 0 ads whatsoever.
I like Van Helsing. I have her statue. I love Van Helsing. She's awesome with that top hat and the crossbow and the tight shorts and the you had me at that. Yeah, those sexy characters and that line is just awesome.
I need more information, please.
Yeah, I'm pulling the information up for you.
Oh, too good.
It's for research. Science,
So-
you know.
Yeah, that's what you always say.
And welcome aboard, Pablo. It's good to have you here, man. I missed you.
Pablo.
I
Haven't
would
heard your
like-
voice in a long time, dude.
Oh yeah, man. By the way, last Friday. God damn it, man. But I was playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and I completely forgot the hour, the time. So I was doing that trial for the sword.
There's my
on
girl,
the
fishnets. Gotta love fishnets.
Oh, Zatanna?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
No, this is Van
dig.
Helsing.
Oh, is it? See?
Really?
All right.
Helsing right there. Yep.
All right.
She wears the
Well,
same fishnets as Zatanna does.
Well, we're bringing up Zatanna. Bruce Timm did a very brief, like 10, 12 issue run in the early 2010s, or was it I think it was run. Maybe it was before the New 52. Even
It was like right around. It was before New 52. 'cause
right
it was
before
like
New 52.
2010.
Bruce Timm did a cool small short Zatanna run that I really enjoyed, and if that became like a collected edition of Bruce Timm Zatanna, I would
Paul
definitely
Dini
buy.
or Bruce Timm?
Oh, sorry, maybe it's Paul Dini.
I think it was
Oh,
Dini.
that's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Dini, I think. I think Dini.
I'm having blonde moments
That's
now.
cool. They're the same guy anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I think they are the same guy.
No, you're right. Yeah, Paul Dini's a Zatanna comic, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed this run. I was actually upset that it didn't go longer because I would have been
Let's
all in
turn
on
that
it.
safe search on, just to be safe with.
And they got some really
Zenoscope.
toxic covers.
Zenoscope has been doing some really good stuff too. It's funny, we don't really talk about them much, but I actually follow them on Facebook, and they do a little video thing, tour of their company there every once in a while. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of lady artists, and they're not what you would think. They're very much about. They know what sells comic books. That right there sells comic books, and they're
most women do know.
Feminists in the right way, and that's what's so awesome about it. And that there's some really good artists in that company. That statue is just amazing, by the way, in person. Yeah, it's too bad they didn't have fishnets on that one, but yeah.
Nice.
You know, exactly this is what the American comics forgot.
Exactly.
If you see Japanese
Sex
media,
sells.
they have this really strong women, right? But they are sexy and they are attractive. And normally they are.
look at
they are in
Elsa
a
from
harem.
Fairy Tail.
Yeah. So that sexiness actually makes you care even more and even be more wow when something happens. Like she shows some weird power that she has hidden. You are like, fuck yeah. That's what I wanted to see. She becoming more powerful. But when they just start with the most powerful character, the lady becomes boring. And if she doesn't have any attractive, well, she's boring and not pretty. So what I am doing here? I just go away searching for boobs or something.
The funny thing is, I have my Van Helsing sneaking up on my Captain Picard 1/6 scale from X06 there. She's right behind him and doing a peekaboo on him here. I wish I could show you. It's pretty funny, but it's that's exactly it, bro. Sex sells. That's what people want. That's what North American, international, South American men want to see that, and it doesn't have to be naked, but you can have a great strong character that shows off a little leg, and we're gonna buy it. And
Plus it makes sense. I mean, let's be honest. You're a dude fighting a character like that. Let's be honest. You're gonna be looking at her chest and that's a good way to distract the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
TZ Canadian said the funniest thing I've seen all night, though. Thanks to Chrissy Mayer, Frosk is kind of hot now.
Oh dear God!
That's good, TZ Canadian. I love that. He must be Canadian because that's funny.
So Zenescope
Oh,
got
come on,
started
Kitty.
doing
You know
a
I'm
lot
more into
of,
that than Pablo.
That's
Zenescope
right, eh?
got started doing a lot of books based on the classic Grimm's fairy tales. So they would have a take on Robin Hood, and that wanted to turn into its own ongoing line. They had a bunch of stuff based on like a lot of stuff based on Alice in Wonderland, where it would be a lot of TNA on the covers, but it sold. It sells. Like there are
All right.
like every single one of these issues from them has like a minimum 3 variant covers. Sometimes each of those having like a convention exclusive is like limited to like 100 copies of that one more provocative cover.
And I'm going to admit something to you guys. A little guilty pleasure. The first couple of seasons of the Van Helsing TV show, I watched. I'm sorry. I feel bad.
Like, I'm sorry.
But she was hot. She was hot, and it was a great TV show until they kind of ruined it the last couple of seasons. But the first couple of seasons were, mid 20 teens, so 2015 or 16, I think maybe earlier than that. For the first couple seasons came out, and it was great. It was about vampire stabbing, post-apocalyptic, sexy women, soldiers that doing what they had to do, and yeah, it was pretty good, and then it went bad. But the first couple seasons were good, so that storyline is kind of cool. I love the Grimm fairy tales idea and making them sexy women, and it's kind of funny because Ironcaster, right? It's like you're taking all these characters and you're sex swapping, but in these cases, I don't care. Do I want to see an old?
No one cares because it's good.
Or do I want to see a hot, sexy woman killing vampires? Like, hands down, there's no choice.
I thought you're
Hot,
not
sexy
alone
women.
here. According to Mrs. Dutch Kitty, I watched True Blood for the hot vampires. You have nothing to apologize for. And how you doing, Gen Xer? Thanks for dropping by and hanging out with us.
My wife says the same thing, U.S. Dutch Kitty.
Yeah,
When's
Nick,
True Blood coming on again?
With anime or with manga, there's a lot of times when they do both. They do for male audiences, female audiences, and with vampires, there's an excellent example of that. It's called Helsing. It's about basically this badass vampire that has all the power that you can imagine, but he's on service of this family of the royal crown called the Helsings.
Yes, Grifter, absolutely.
Alucard is part of, let's say, a demon hunting or vampire hunting agency, being the king of the vampires himself.
The Helsing organization, basically.
Yeah, so there's a lot of women that love Alucard. He is basically the sex symbol for a lot of women. But in the same tale, you have another character that is female, Victoria Ceras, that is full ass and titties all the time. So she is the
number one waifu there.
Yeah,
Great
exactly.
show,
She's perfect waifu material.
Yep.
Oh, I can show Ceres Victoria all day.
A great animated cartoon too. That was great.
Yeah. Hey, Pablo, now that I know you actually seen Helsing, was it just me or did Alucard sometimes look like Ozzy Osbourne?
He does. He's inspired on Ozzy Osbourne. So let me see. Here's, if you can share.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
This
Grifter,
little
I've
lady-
not read Belladonna, but I would like to know what that is.
Oh, it's a great
go
comic
ahead,
book.
go ahead, Pablo. Carry on. Thought we'll have to talk.
Okay, this little lady is completely crazy. She still wants to be human. She's still hanging to humanity, so she doesn't drink blood. But all her interior is just trying to make her the perfect vampire. So since she has the powers of Alucard, she's drawn to blood even more than any other vampire. So basically, she sees someone and she gets the hots, but she gets the hots to kill you. So it's a really fun character, and watching her on action is really amazing. And she becomes basically one of the most powerful creatures on planet Earth at the end of the series, but she is just ass and titties all the time. Literally, this is her function, being
Very
ass and
toxic.
titties.
Very
Yep.
toxic.
Toxic
So
is
this-
good.
Yeah, this has a balance between female audiences and male audiences. Everybody loves this series, and everybody has the hots for a character on this series.
Of
So
course.
I mean it when I say you can do both. You can see a way to get both audiences interested, and it's something that until today I was wondering why I don't like Carol Danvers anymore. Yeah,
She's
she
a
was
man.
No, it's even deeper than that.
Plus
She
a
was a
carrot.
sexy. She was pretty sexy when they first
She
revealed her
was.
in the 80s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was
They
totally
removed
sexy,
the
and also she
femininity.
had small moments of she being kinda weak or having these flaws. So you wanted to protect
Or needing
her.
help.
Exactly. No, you don't. No, you only want her to go away. So you no longer has this sensation of, if I was there, even though she is stronger, I will put my butt in front of the bullet.
One of the hottest comic books of all time was when Rogue and Carol Danvers were
Takes her
scissoring
power.
on the bridge there. When Rogue absorbed Carol Danvers'
Yep.
powers, they were scissoring. It was just like, give me your power, and there was like touchy feely and stuff. Yeah, those are the good old days of comic books when you could have strong female characters, and I'm all joking aside, and then but you could still have the sexuality be
Story.
part of it. Superman and Batman and Wolverine and all those characters are drawn with 8-packs abs, right? For a reason.
Mhm.
It's because they're the ultimate vision of a male
Power
form.
fantasy.
Just like women are the same way. They're drawn that way too as well. And men and women are both drawn to those figures. So it's terrible to see a character like Carol Danvers, who should be a strong female character, but you have to own your sexuality. You have to be comfortable with your body and the way you look, and to make them into the Rose Tico of the Marvel Universe or the DC Universe is just awful. Own that. You got to own your body. You've got to own sexuality and own
Yep.
attractiveness. Is that's what we're all attracted to. They're talking about the male gaze and how that's just it's such an awful thing. But you know what? That's how we perpetuate the species.
And
Mhm.
also,
Exactly.
Let's not
Humanity
forget,
loves
let's not
to
forget
see
the
beauty.
Female gaze, and I don't care that the female gaze it can exist and multiply for all I care. Because let's not forget the amount of women who went and paid to see Aquaman. I mean, that's the only argument I need. And someone might be like, "Oh, you use that argument for it." It's the only damn argument I need, especially in the age of intersectionality, in the age of PC, in the age of woke, in the age of whatever leftist buzz term you use. All those terms crumbled when all those women flocked to see Aquaman in theaters and the movie soared in the box office. That
Oh, yeah.
go look at the numbers. Whether you like the movie or not, neither here nor there. That movie made numbers, and it came out in December of like 2018. It did gangbusters. So it just like it's amazing how they Hollywood says they want all these Mary Sue heroes, but they really want to see Jason Momoa. Maybe they want
Or Henry
some
Cavill.
mixture of both. They want characters who they can enjoy, but they also still want the guys too. But it seems like even some of the women are like, where are the women at in this? Like, who are I guess you could say of the male gaze per se. Like even there are girls who are confused about that. Like, and this is like,
Plus when they don't give sexy women
pointing that out. It's good to see women pointing that out, and that's what's good. They're noticing that the contradiction.
And
You know
there's
one thing?
something-
when they don't put sexy women on movies, they're just being lesbian phobic because there are lesbians that love seeing beautiful women on movies. Why are they not looking at them?
But it goes deeper. Even men like to see manly men on the screen because you want to follow. You want to follow the hero. You want to follow the commander, the general. You want to see that man that is so goddamn manly, so muscly, so strong that you think if I follow this motherfucker, I will have the adventure of my time. It's that
Easy,
simple.
Paulie.
It's that simple. You know when someone is fun to be around. And normally, it's the guy that you know that will jump out of the building because he wants to, because it's fun to do. So you are.
Bobby, you can back me up on this, man. Fantastic Four. So you've got Sue Storm, you've got Reed Richards,
There you go.
and who was the third in that triumvirate that was always drawn with skimpy shorts and wings on his ankles, but yet
Namor.
I do, believe it or not. Yeah.
So it's not just the male gaze, right?
No.
No, not even close. And
Only idiot feminists
Nope.
said that.
yeah, and that's the thing. I don't even care if the female kids exist for all I care. Multiply in it if you must. I don't care. I have no skin in the game as far as that
It's okay
goes.
to have, but you gotta be able to have the balance of letting the
Yeah.
male
Both
gaze
sides.
exist as well.
Yeah,
If
and,
you-
it-
yeah.
and it's good that women once again are noticing that inconsistency. The women who want the Jason Momoas and Henry Cavill are saying, "Hey,
Mhm.
what happened to him too?" Because even those girls like saying those girls. That's just ask any girl. That girl's looking at other girls. That's just
Humans
nature.
love to see beauty. Either it's male beauty or female beauty. We love
Mhm.
seeing it. Okay, boys,
Well,
I gotta go. It's getting late
Alright,
and I got
Fenrir.
work to do.
Hey, dude,
Okay,
thanks for
bye,
hanging
bro.
out with us.
Pablo, you're gonna have to hold the show while I'm gone. Don't disappoint me. So
Well,
yeah,
thanks for
Nick,
hanging
I'll
out,
try to
dude.
make it next week for the Inhumans talk. I've been full of
Sure.
work, but I'll try. I'll try,
All
man.
right. Well, next week,
Okay,
yeah,
guys,
we'll be
stay
talking
safe.
humans next week. Yeah, take care,
Be good,
buddy.
buddy.
Later.
Just wait the Fantastic Four.
We'll do a Fantastic Four one. I mean, that'd be fun. Maybe we could
Oh,
do like
Nick, what are you talking about? No one here wants to talk about the Fantastic Four.
Well, no, I thought about something. I was thinking about maybe March or April, we could do like a month where we talk like the first 10 issues, like type of deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of like our version of what Clubby and Raquel do with Star Trek. We could do like do 1 through 5 per episode. Maybe it's something to think about. Obviously, that would take a long time, take many episodes to pull up, but maybe
Sure.
we could do it like in spades. Maybe do like have like 2 months worth of episodes straight, where it's like 1 through 20, just throwing a number out there, and then take a few months off, just doing regular Comic Shop Talk episodes, then come back and do 21 through 40. Once again, just ideas. If those align with what makes sense and are realistic, and I think that'd be fun to revisit that original Lee and Kirby run, because that is the run of comics. I mean, God, so many characters, prominent Marvel characters, were introduced because of that run.
By the way, there's some sexiness there. Sue Storm. Sue Storm is damn sexy, and when they introduce Medusa,
Oh, dude, great character.
Medusa is-
Love Medusa. She's
Red Death.
awesome. Yeah, Thoth. Hey, there you. Thoth. That's what makes the Inhuman show even more worse, because they cut off all of Medusa's red hair.
no.
I watched
God
that
damn.
show, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. I just know that they cut off her hair. I'm like, wow, they really do hate
That's
redheads.
Ginger side there. That's the worst atrocity ever. Chopping
Sure.
that beautiful red hair off.
Yeah, and her power is her hair.
Oh yeah, Crystal. Yeah, D-Bud's right. Crystal's cool too. I can get down with Crystal. I love Lockjaw. I love that dog, that big
Everyone
fat
loves
dog that
Lockjaw.
teleports. I mean, come on. How could you not love Lockjaw?
Lockjaw got to meet Superman.
Oh yeah, because he's Lockjaw, dude. I'm just saying, like, if I would be like, dude, all right, Lockjaw, I need you to send me to Chirac in the South Side, and I need to just get a quick pizza on the South Side, and then teleport me back to the suburbs, 60 miles away from the crazy, and then Lockjaw does it, man. Yeah, and Deba coming in hot. The Thing loves Lockjaw. No, it's true. That's true, man. Man's best friend. And since the Thing is a big man, needs a big dog, so it lines up together. Like the show, we all know the show's Abomination. We all know Scott Buck's an idiot. Dude, that money was just pissed away. Let's just be real here. Then
What?
Dark Shadow Logan, what's up, Dark Shadow, says Sue Storm does not get enough credit. Might have something to do with that fishy smell she can't get rid of, thanks to Namor.
Oh. Well, she tasted fish sticks.
Oh. How you doing, Crucible, the Rainbow Knight? No, dude. Well, here's the thing, and it's something that's got to be acknowledged. Like, obviously, Sue and Reed are meant to be, but it's just like Namor is so hardcore alpha that he knows that Reed can do what he can with his dog, and Namor is not fazed by that one bit. He's just like, oh, okay, I don't care. I'm still more badass than you. Like, Namor is like, you want to talk about one alpha character? That is...
No, Namor is the Sigma.
Let me tell you something. Namor needs to watch it because Reed Richards could put him in a pocket universe and never let him out. He's so much smarter. Right. He could turn him into a little. He could put him in the microverse. He is no match for Reed Richards. You stay away from Sue, damn it, Namor, or I'm coming after you. I'm sorry,
Namor.
Don't
I hate that whole Namor thing. I'm just kidding.
No, you're right though. Here's the thing. It just shows you how alpha Namor is, but you're correct. Reed Richards can absolutely annihilate the character just off of his wits alone. You are right, dude. That's not even up for debate, even.
Yeah. Namor is totally like, you might be able to take any shape you want on your dog, but mine has wings.
Man, Reed would put him into the microverse.
Yeah, but Reed can't figure out how to like not come like this close to losing Sue constantly.
Yeah, that's true.
What a fun discussion.
I was being facetious, but I never did like that whole Namor suit thing.
And I can understand that. No, it's funny we bring up Namor and the comments just come out flying. Like he's toxic Aquaman. Namor gives Sue wings. Oh God. So yeah, people respond when they hear about Namor. No, obviously Reed can kick his ass. It just shows you how I'm trying to get at is that man, Namor isn't but he's not fazed by that. He should be, but he's just like I don't care. It's just like Reed's just like, well, you're just arrogant. Bing.
I always loved the way Ben treated Namor because of that. He hated it. I mean, he had a chip on his shoulder about it more than Reed did, and always treated him with no respect whatsoever.
Namor isn't arrogant. He's a king.
And Ben don't care. That's what I'm saying. Ben talked to him like a punk. That's what I loved about it.
No, Ben don't care. He's not Bud. He's not phased by.
Johnny either, because he couldn't stand. They both talked. They didn't get. Namor didn't bother them. But yes, I hear you.
Well, especially for Johnny, it's like, dude, that's my sister, and you're freaking weird. You're some guy who's from the water. I'm not into you, man. Reed, I'm familiar with. I survived Reed. Yeah.
Even though it's Johnny's fault, he got his memory back, but still. Johnny did bring him back.
Lobby, can you tell me what really happened with the first Human Torch? Because I thought the beef between Ben and Namor was because of the old Human Torch. I never thought about it being about Sue.
I always thought it was about Sue. I mean, but the original Human Torch. You're asking what happened? I mean, or he was a friend. He was a colleague of Subby. With the All Winners, and later, of course, the Invaders, if that's what you mean. But I don't think they were particularly. They fought a lot at first. They were the first superhero battle, really, if you think about it. So they were at odds first, but that's because Torch was sent to stop him from wrecking things before the war started, before America entered the war, I should say. But they became friends and allies. So if you're talking about original Human Torch and Subby. They were at odds because Subby was kind of a villain at first.
But what happened to him? And wasn't Namor into this because of Pearl Harbor? Because something happened with the waters and he was angry with America originally?
He was originally, yes. He was pretty much kind of a villain when he started out.
Yep.
In the sense, or definitely the anti-hero. And then, he finally realized that he would help the Allies because he knew that, the Yahtzees were worse. So yeah, but yeah, he was still, and then later when he came back, when he was brought back into the Silver Age, he kind of he was pretty much the same. He was kind of an enemy in some ways, as evidenced when he kept going back, to hang out with Doctor Doom and work with him a couple of times, many times actually, and what he did to Daredevil.
Also, he meddled in the relationship between T'Challa and Storm.
Yes, he's always getting involved in stuff. Namor's kind of
or Namor and Emma Frost.
Namor likes women that are taken. He likes taking them away.
He does. That's right. It's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, he had Namora though,
but that wasn't enough. He needed the invisible kink. He needed the invisible kink.
Right. He had Lady Dorma, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Dorma.
Like
yep, you're right.
So yeah, I don't know.
He even had Namor Rita.
Wasn't that his cousin? Isn't that like his? No, that was his
yes.
cousin.
I thought that was his mom.
Well,
no,
we should also get into Alpha Flight and a certain fish girl that was in.
Yeah. You like her?
Yeah, I did. I'm a sucker for Canadian superheroes.
Well, who isn't? I know you like Captain Canuck, right?
That's wow.
We talked about him before.
That's a deep cut. That's a great character too.
Yeah.
Canadian comic book, Canadian character. Yeah, it was good. They actually did a modern version of him recently too. That the comic wasn't that bad.
We talked about that one stock. Remember, I tell you we were getting those in the 70s and 80s here. Believe it or not, it was distributed down here.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a pretty cool comic too. They did a really good job. They had an alien race. He got stranded on an alien planet. They had some good storylines. That was some fun back in the was it? I think it was early 80s or was it late 70s?
Late 70s, early 80s.
70s,
I would see it on the rack sometimes. George Freeman created him, but I don't know if I ever bought it or just flipped through it at the time, but I remember him very well.
Yeah, it was good times, man. Great art, great story. It was fun. Those are the good old days of comics, though. The 70s and 80s, there was some really good stuff that came out, some creativity that was amazing. I miss those days.
Oh, man. Well, you know me and
Puck and Sasquatch.
I have the opinion that Friends destroyed comic books.
Who?
The series Friends.
Friends?
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
I got to hear this theory.
It started with the X-Men. Every single X-Men was a character from Friends. Cyclops was Ross. It literally felt like Friends. But then every team up started to have these love conflicts and everything, and they were torn apart, and each one was trying to get another person. And I don't care about that. I want to see them fight. Just kick somebody. Don't go for their girlfriend.
Well, that's always kind of been around. I
mean, it's been always.
X-Men certainly had plenty of that in the 70s and 80s when with Madeline Pryor and Jean Grey.
It'll pop up. It will pop up, dude. You know how these remotes go. They always have a way. Oh, man. So, next week, we're for sure talking the Inhumans. So, that should be good, and it's going to be fun. And it'll be nice to get a little bit of a retrospect. And I know I'm going to be on the side of I'm defending these characters because I actually was interested in the idea of them having a movie, initially speaking, but we all know how history played out when they reduced the characters to a show, gave them the worst suits ever, and then gave Medusa a buzzed haircut. Beginning of the movie? Dude, absolute.
Okay.
So we're talking about the movie, or we're talking about just Inhumans in general?
Oh, the series that they did.
All the comics.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the TV show.
But I have an idea. I have an idea on how to present the Inhumans in the cinematic universe. You start directly with a movie with the Fantastic Four, and in the middle of the thing, without any warning, you just go Terrigen bomb in the middle of the city. And they are introduced to the Inhumans that way. You don't present Medusa, you don't present Black Bolt, you don't do any of that. You go directly there's a monster kind of invasion, and it's people from planet Earth that were exposed to this explosion. So in the end, you present Medusa that it comes like, oh, this was a really terrible mistake, and there's somebody in our midst that is trying to destroy planet Earth. And you get the teaser so you can have a full-on movie for the Inhumans without any crap. You already presented them. You already know that they can have crazy powers. Every single one of them is kind of this mutant, but not really a mutant. Everything is ready. Just go with the movie. Present us the craziness of the Inhumans.
Yeah, and the initial concept of it is a great, fantastic, intriguing combo. And then you got a character like Blackagar Boltagon, aka Black Bolt, and that's such a cool and yet almost intimidating thing. This guy who can utter words, a few mere words, very softly, and everything around him turns to shit. So it's like, wow, that's insane. That obviously that power level's not enhanced to. God, I just lost my train of thought. Damn it! I need more whiskey.
Has there ever been a fight between Black Bolt and Banshee?
No, but that would be fun.
All right. Dark Shadow Logan here. So I'd like to see a proper Inhumans with the royal family and the World War Hulk storyline. What the Hulk say? I ain't come to hear you whisper, Black Boy. I wanted to hear you scream. Ooh, see, he's creating good dialogue for the Hulk by doing that. No, dude, I like the royal family. I like Attilan. I think it's a cool land. I think they got a cool established universe. Where if you get a writer who will actually commit to the characters, you can have something great out of them. But ever since the merger happened with Fox and Disney, now all of a sudden they don't want to talk about the Inhumans anymore. And for me, I was bummed because I knew when they moved to the show that the show was gonna bomb, and then seeing the suits, I'm like, oh.
And what they did with the Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too was kind of
make them
awful.
make them like the X-Men.
Yeah, Terra was.
And
I don't know why you choose her.
You have to toss an Angar the Screamer in there with your triad. There, you can have the three vocal dudes in there going at it.
Yeah, that will actually be really fun. To be honest.
Who's the villain? Is it Angar the Screamer?
The moment when they talk about going with I forgot the name of the Eternals. That's the name. When they said we are going with the movie for the Eternals, I was like, yeah, the Inhumans are dead. They will never touch the Inhumans again.
No, and that's a shame because the reason they originally decided to give them attention was purely out of spiteful reasons, and then they neglected them for spiteful reasons once again. And God, such a missed opportunity. Be able, if only there was a more extensive run based off this initial idea. But we'll never know, and guess we'll have to make our own stories to tell that someday. Yeah. We got Pablo.
Also, without a lot of the characters, you cannot tell the proper story. So that's the shame. You don't have Reed Richards there. You cannot tell a proper story with the Inhumans. Without Sue Storm, without Johnny, it's like you cannot go in the way that the comics explore the Inhumans, because at the beginning they just appeared. They were there. They were antagonistic, and that was all. And we lost Nick. So that's kind of what I miss, even with the introduction of characters. They were just pop up and be the villain for a couple of issues until you know what they were all about, and they were trying to save a civilization or their mothers or whatever. And you will have that way of presenting them as the good guys, but still having a fight, a reason to fight with the heroes, and having that cool scene with everybody using their powers. No, you don't have that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because you can tell that at this point the comics are just under the thumb of the movies now.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. There could be some ways that could be applied well, but as this is Hollywood, and the last 6-7 years, if we learned anything, that anytime they get a success at something, they only learn the wrong lessons from it, not the right. So, but anyways,
Spider-Man was good.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
and
was good
I
because
really enjoyed
cameos.
it. See, I didn't
Nah.
even enjoy it just because cameos. I enjoyed it because I really enjoyed where the story of Tom Holland's Peter is going. He actually, it felt like it was like it looked like it was a completing of his actual origin story proper. That's what I was getting at. To me, the cameos were the icing on the cake.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I got out of Spider-Man No Way Home was that. I actually felt like that movie actually was trying to actually tell a story, unlike your Eternals or your Feng Shui or your Black Widow. And yes, I'm saying Feng Shui on purpose because of the furniture that's called Feng Shui. That's all intentional. All those movies like you watch, just like, or obviously we've all heard the stories of Boba Fett. Like they're these stories that hardly have any they're so light on story, and No Way Home actually felt like there was a story going on. Obviously, you had a lot of big things happening in it that were fan service, Easter egg, whatever you want to call it. But there was a story there, and it was up front and center, and it was there. So, and it actually has rewatchability too, which is good.
A lot of that was not fan service, and that's something that I have even learned to want in other movies. I don't know. I have this expectation now that in No Way Home they understood what they did wrong on the comic books, what they did wrong on the movies, and what they did wrong with the older movies, and what they did right with the older movies. So they compile everything in a single movie. They are fixing One More Day. They are fixing Amazing Spider-Man 2. They are fixing everything wrong with the Spider-Boy. Because they are changing. He's no longer Mr. Stark here, Mr. Stark there. He's growing up and he's
He's actually Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. That he's a Spider-Man, that his powers are in that place for him to use, no longer depending on Tony Stark's technology.
Yeah, I agree. And I know I listened to the Critical Drinker talk about it because it was one of the movies he actually gave it under the Drinker Recommends. And he was talking about, he's like, it's like if you think about it in retrospect, these three movies were basically an origin trilogy. They basically were and I think he's right for that. I think he's right on the money with that comment. Obviously, whether you feel like those movies were good or not is obviously your story. But if you think about it in retrospect, it does seem like that because these movies were centered around his high school life and him growing up to learning to become an actual man. Like it in the big picture, that's clearly what it was. Whether it was them seeing their mistakes and saying we need to rectify this, or maybe for some weird reason, maybe this is the plan all along. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not someone who has connections to any of these people, but it is something to ponder about. Was this always part of the plan to make him seem like he's this kid who's incapable to becoming fully capable when the moment got really tough to become capable? Sorry. So I don't know. It's definitely an interesting conversation to think about. But dude, I cannot wait to see that suit. I'll just say that suit. That suit in the future. Oh, dude, even seeing it in the theaters again the second time, I might go see it again in IMAX for a third time. But dude, seeing it that second time, I was still wowed by that suit. See it from the sewing machine too. I was like, like type of thing.
Well, there's a rumor for the next Doctor Strange movie that Black Bolt will be there.
Oh God, it'll probably be counted from the Inhumans show. But if that's where it's from, then why would I care then?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
And that's why Hollywood only learns the wrong lessons from success. Yeah. Like they'll get something that people actually enjoy, and Spider-Man's actually getting rewatchability. Like people are actually seeing it second, third times. Yellow Flash posted he just saw it again, so people are actually legitimately enjoying it for what it is. And the fact that it has rewatchability is good. So clearly, it's going to have good Blu-ray, DVD, 4K sales. It's gonna do great.
And
well,
you know something?
Spider-Man is the greatest comic book character that's out there
yes.
now. Period.
Yes.
The 1/6 scale Hot Toys and third-party creators of the statues, the 1/3 scale, 1/4 scale, all those. The reason why they put out 15 different versions of the character is they sell. The comic books sell. That marketing machine is just incredible, and Sony has got a gold mine there. The opportunities that they have with the Venomverse, you've got Morbius coming out, you've got there is no way that they're not going to do another great Spider-Man movie. I know they're going to introduce a bunch of the modern characters that are just awful, but what you can't deny how much of a draw that is. Look at what he just made at the box office. The funny thing is, I actually have the Hot Toys 1/6 scale Spider-Man, the PlayStation version, the shiny character stickers, and I've been actually posing him to try to pose him in with my Endgame Captain America and my Endgame Iron Man with the Infinity Gauntlet, and I've got Spider-Man right in the middle, and I've got, of course, #SaveGingers. I have my Natasha as well, my Black Widow right there, and I've got them all posed, and I'm trying to get them all set up right. And Spider-Man's the most difficult because I have to, I'm trying to set him up so he can hang from the ceiling, and he's kind of like swooping in with his webs going off. But that Spider-Man is just the greatest superhero character right now. He's your seller. He's your big dog. And
so where's your Carol Danvers going?
I don't have Carol Danvers. Let me tell you.
Wait, it's almost like
all those Carol Danvers figures are on for half off right now because no one
wants them for free. No one wants them for free, dude. My two girls would rather read books on Spider-Man than to read something on Captain Marvel. Let that tell you something.
My nephew and nieces, they all love Spider-Man. He's the man. And my god kid over in Finland.
Yeah.
At Christmas time and his birthday it's all around the same time. We sent him a big package. Finland. I'm talking Finland.
That's so beautiful.
He loves Spider-Man. He wants Spider-Man. So that and Star Wars Lego, which is weird, but
dude. All right. I've never owned a Hot Toy, but this may need to be my first one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, you need to talk to me about that.
Did any of you guys got that No Way Home is a full Sinister Six movie?
It kind of is.
It starts with a plan from Mysterio. So literally Mysterio is the first villain of the movie.
I have the Mysterio 6 scale Hot Toys.
Yeah. Oh, then you have
that was a great one.
And that's probably my second favorite figure. That figure.
Everything happens because of Mysterio, and then the other Sinister Six appear. But you have all of them fighting with Spider-Man all the movie. Because Mysterio is still destroying Spider-Man's life.
Yep. You've got, you know what? You know what would be awesome? You have Electro, you have Venom, you have
Scorpion.
Green Goblin. Oh, Scorpion would be great. Craven. I want Craven the Hunter.
Yes.
Oh, man. We could talk about Spider-Man all day, guys.
We'll do a Spider-Man panel. We'll do a Spider-Man panel again.
Nick, that's what we gotta go into. 5-10 issues of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What your top 5 issues of Spider-Man of all time?
Or maybe we could just do we all read the first several issues and then we talk about a group of issues like we all read 1 through 10 for a few throughout the period of 2 weeks, and then we talk about it for a panel, and then come back to it again a few weeks later, do 11 through 20 for another panel, just so we can all catch up. Just an idea. I won't say these are fun ideas to toss around, but if we want to even really let it breathe, we could do 1 through 5, 6 through 10. Either way, there's nothing to lose no matter which way we go about this. If we do the 1 through 5 or 6 through 10 thing, we let the story breathe more.
Why don't we leave a little bit of that up to people to the audience to give a little input, because I think that might be a good idea. Let them.
Yeah. Hey,
how much do they want us to?
if they want to hear us to do a deep dive into these original ASM Fantastic Four runs where we can review these issues like a handful per panel, yeah, that I hope that they would be enthused about that. I know if I was, an audience member, I'm like, boo boo, I want to see that, Mr. Ranger. I'll go eat him if he says no. That's what it'd be for me.
Can I ask you guys your top 10 from Marvel, heroes from Marvel?
Top 10.
I'd have
top
to
3.
think about,
Let's go with a top 3.
Okay.
Oh, easy.
Oh, that's easy.
Easy. Spidey, Daredevil, Johnny Storm.
Nice.
Wow.
Easy. Things, Spidey, Captain America.
That's good. That's a great combination. So,
ooh, I'm thinking from Spider-Man, Nightcrawler, and maybe Gambit.
Squirrel Girl.
No,
Oh, Ironcaster. Do you know what I just got the other day?
You got the Gambit?
I did the third-party one, and it is probably the best figure I have. The cards glow. He's got his quarterstaff. The colors pop. He's got 2 hairstyles. One's a windswept. Man, it's worth the $200, man. You got to get it.
Send me some pictures.
I will.
Whoa.
I'll
All right.
post them on Twitter.
All right. Crucible says here, yes, review the classic Marvel books. Crucible, I think just because you said that, if that gets me assurance that you're going to show up here, I damn sure will say, you know what? Maybe we'll do for like the month of March. We'll do 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 through 15, 16 through 20. There we go, guys, for the month of March. We'll ASM 1 through 20, 5 issues each for each episode of the month of March. There you go. You guys got it. ASM, it's coming in March. Jury's out, and Grifter says Spider-Man, Wolverine, Elektra, IDM. The ginger guy looks like he eats a lot of apricots. How you doing, IDM? Thank you for hanging out. And D-Bot here with Iron Man. Nice. That's a good wild card.
Yep.
Spider-Man and the Thing. Nice.
Do I get to tell you mine?
Yep,
Yeah.
Wolverine, of course, because Doctor Strange, and it's not Spider-Man. Can anyone guess? Captain America.
Oh.
Captain America. And I am not American, but I love that character just like I love Superman from the DC side of things.
You're North American, buddy.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Truth, justice, American way, sticking up for the little guy, being there, leading the charge. Love Captain America. Logan, because he's just a berserker Canadian, and he's hairy. That's a big plus.
I thought you were going to say a traditional Canadian.
There's a lot of secondary, like Iron Man. It's funny that everybody picks Iron Man now because he was always a B-list character.
Yes, he was.
I would have said C.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's like Thor for me. He's like next tier. I love those guys. I love those comics from the 70s especially, but I never saw them as A-list characters, and it's great to see that the Avengers movies, the MCU movies have really brought those characters to the fore. That's awesome.
Let me tell you my list. It will be Spider-Man. It will be Tony Stark, not Iron Man, and there's a reason. And there's the same reason why I love the first part of Iron Man 3, because Tony Stark, he has no superpowers. He has not the super intelligence that the powers from Reed Richards gives him, but he's still an engineer. All his character is an engineer, insecure, and has a lot of flaws, right? But using his intelligence, he overcomes everything, including creating the Iron Man, creating the suit. So everything derives from that intelligence, from that mind. Everybody wants the powers from Iron Man, but Tony Stark is the guy that made Iron Man. Remember that. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And
we will, Pablo.
Yeah.
Pablo, list it off.
The third one will be Doctor Strange, because he is the most different one. Literally,
remember growing up as a kid, Pablo, and reading the old Strange Tales and the Doctor Strange issues, and I was like, "Wow, that's really cool. That's out there. Someone who's smoking weed writing these issues."
Looking like Vincent Price, like.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, guys, this has been a fun, nice panel. Just the guys hang out, talking comic books, and it's gonna be the part where we wrap it up. The chat, thank you guys. I think this is the most people I've ever attend on a comic shop talk. Usually we do so. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sticking around. A lot of you too. I appreciate that. Critzable dropping by later on. IDM, Dragon Master, Naked Fame, Gen Xer, Grifter, D-Bud Martin. I remember Lovely Sherry stopped by earlier. Tina Bojan, US Dutch Kitty, Dark Shadow Logan, Gen Xer. My comments, it's TZ Canadian, Naked Fame. I'm going up the list. Monkey G-Bus, as far as it lets me go. Liger Fan. Thank you guys. Thank all of you. See TZ. Yeah, I saw TZ earlier. Guyver Mecton. Yes, seriously though. Thank you guys. Yeah, next week we will talk the Inhumans. That is for sure a thing. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. And officially for the month of March, we're gonna talk ASM, the original Stan Lee, Steve Ditko run, and the first episode of March we will do 1 through 5. After that, we'll do 6 through 10, then 11 through 15. Then
what about
16
Amazing
through 20.
Fantasy 15?
We'll count that in through 1 through 5.
Oh yeah.
That will
I
come
will
with
do
1
this.
through
We're
5.
gonna cover it. We gotta.
It counts. It counts.
So, what about Amazing Fantasy 16 and 17 and 18?
What about 1 to 15?
They exist. But
they do exist. But we're talking about Spider-Man.
and he's in them. No, he does. He's in them.
And no, D-Bud, maybe we'll do a Doctor Strange thing. That's something to think about down the line as well. That's a bridge we'll cross when we got a few other bridges to cross. Let's cross through those together, and then we can think about those as well. Because I would love to tackle some Strange. I'd say right outside my big 3, Doctor Strange would be right at number 4. So
yeah, I have a lot of those old Ditko Doctor Stranges, D-Bud Martin. That was some of the most amazing comic books growing up. I loved that stuff. It was all, you have Nightmare, you have anyway. It's some of the amazing villains that were just so weird and out there, wearing purple costumes and stuff. Like, it's just awesome.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. Dark Shadow Logan says, "Great show, guys." Hey, thank you, Logan. Thank you for coming in and hanging out and supporting. Grifter says, "No, thanks to you guys. Love comics." Hey, dude. Grifter, thank you for coming and hanging out, man. It's nice to have you in the chat.
Hey, Dad,
and
man.
Dragon Master is excited that it's on the B-Day month. And hello to you, Dadman Walk-In. Philbo says, love it. See you guys next week. And Philbo, I'm going to at least try to get the book right. I will make sure I wear the shirt on panel next week, too, as well. So I'll double up the game. So, yes, that will be it. And we'll plug in our channels. Pablo, go ahead and go, my friend.
Hey, if you are having troubles understanding the book of Boba Fett, me too. So I'm doing reviews on Spanish for Midnight Español, where I go with a lot of the points that I think are stupid, and I was supposed to go 5 minutes last one, and I went 8, and I still went only with less than a third of the complaints that I have about the episode. So if you know Spanish, hear me out. Maybe you can cry with me.
Well, Pablo, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for hanging out as always. Next week and the next several weeks are going to be a blast on here. Hopefully that'll balance out the sadness of your sorrows on Midnight's Edge Espanol. All right, dude?
Awesome, man.
And Gen Xer, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm sorry, but eventually all good things must come to an end, but we will be back at the same time, same bat channel next week. So brace yourself. Please come back. It's great to see a lot of the new faces too here. So I love that. I love seeing the new faces. So thank you guys. And now the Egyptian god himself. I know he doesn't really have like a channel per se, but I like to let him speak because I like hearing him talk.
Thanks, Flava Flavs. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this great journey. It's a lot of fun chatting with you guys in the chat. We were talking role-playing games. We were talking tabletop. We were talking giant monsters, as as one of my esteemed colleagues would want to talk about, and talking about comic books. That's what we're here for. We're here to have a lot of fun, and it's going to be great. If anybody wants to check out some more conversation about the Week in Geek, we're talking about comic books, and we're talking about games, and we're talking about all kinds of the similar stuff that we're talking about tonight. Check out T-Shirted Historians channel on Saturday night, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. We're going to be doing the same thing. So if you want to check us out there as well on Saturday night, if you got some time, come and see us.
All right. And the Egyptian guy spoke. Hey, thank you for hanging out. I know obviously it came out unexpectedly, which made it even better. So I appreciate it. And there's a link for our T-Shirt Historian. Great channel as well. Go hang out with them tomorrow afternoon. And now the man with the big toys and the big guns himself.
Guys, this is so much fun. This is one of the highlights of my week to come on here and just talk about anything and everything with the general geekiness. So, Nick, thank you so much for having me on.
My pleasure.
And everyone in the chat for coming and listening to me, working some stuff and show some black painted robots. But if you want to get into some more of that, you can come over to my channel, where on Monday I'm gonna bring back a little stream I was calling Mecha Monday, to talk about all things robot, power suits, cybernetics, kaiju monsters, men in rubber suits, all that stuff. I want to have some fun and talk about a lot more of that. Where maybe we'll get into some Gundam, and of course on Tuesdays I do have the Gundam Roundtable, where we've been going through the original 1979 Mobile Suit Gundam, and trying to introduce some new people to the show.
Mm-hmm. Ah, nice. Well, dude, thank you for coming as always. It's a blast hanging out with you. I appreciate it. Next week's gonna be fun, and I foresee a lot of great episodes coming together in the future. Let there be comics, let there be drinks, and before we hand it off to our last guy, TZ, it's great hanging with you guys. Hey, dude, thank you. Always a pleasure hanging with you. And Dragon Master, yes, Mark D with a C is okay. He's all good. Mark D with a C has a very busy life, so anytime I can get with him is on here is very valuable. That's pretty much all that is. Mark D with a C will show up when he can. That's pretty much how that boils down to. And also, he's a very big instrumental player in the success of Toxic Tuesday as well, and that takes a lot of time off his schedule as well. And the fact that he does that when he doesn't have to is huge. So that just shows you the dedication that man puts into between family, work, and being a dad, and also owning a lot of toys. So shout out to Mark D with a C.
Indeed.
Shout out.
The great Mark D with a C.
Sub to Ironcast over here. This is his channel. Please, guys, give him a look. All right, we got to get this man to 500, and we're gonna make it magical. And now, last but of course not least, you know who he is. I'll let him do the rest of the talking.
Oh, well, thank you, buddy. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys, as always. You're all extraordinary, and thanks to the chat out there for being so fantastic watching us tonight. Tomorrow night, I got at the usual time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is the way I usually start all my night streams. Saturday night Star Trek, full-blown episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation, 5th season. We're reviewing all of Real Trek, 66 through 05 only, all the real series. And Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. Mark D with the C will be joining me, the aforementioned Mark D with the C, my good buddy. And we will be doing a Clobby's Classic Comics review, reviewing Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 7. And so, yeah, they got that. That's what's up. And got a lot of classic comics reviews coming up soon as well.
Nice. Awesome, dude. Hey, as always, sir, a pleasure. And I look forward to many of these great episodes to come. And I cannot wait till a month from now we talk Born Again.
That's right.
We're going to make that a panel for the ages. That's the goal. It's going to be great. And as always, a pleasure as always. You're a great guy. You're a great friend.
Thank
And
you,
well,
same to you.
somehow, if you're in the chat and you somehow have not subscribed to Clobbering Times, guys, I don't know how that's a thing. Like that's I'm basically like I'm one of the reasons I'm able. He's one of the reasons I have been able to have a thing like this because a lot of faces come here because I was discovered because of this gentleman. So I'm just paying it forward. So that's all I'm doing. And yes, Dragon Master, you're correct. A reminder set for Saturday Night Star Trek because that's a huge deal. Even though I'm not informed on the show, I know that people in my chats love that show. They tell me about it, so they let me know, and that's good now. But yeah, no, go watch it. I always try to listen to 10 to 15 minutes just because it's so fun to listen to as a normie. So as I like to say a lot, I do enjoy listening. So I'll get my information from you guys. So it's I love seeing how active that chat is too. That is like wow.
Nick, we gotta get you to watch some Star Trek.
We might make a Trekkie of you one of these days, brother. You never know.
Yeah, we might have to. We'll see.
I will say this:
Deep
that
Space Nine is my favorite.
I'm sorry, Clobby, and shout out to Raquel Briggs, his EXO. That the most fun is not the two of them doing their chat; it's us in the chat. It is just wild. We talk about Star Trek. We fire stuff back
It's
and
so
forth.
interactive, though.
It is just amazing, and it just flies. The chat flies. I laugh every 5 or 10 minutes in the chat. Like it's just everybody's making comments about the old uniforms or Councilor Cleavage, or like right now we're in Next Generation, and we're finally getting into some good episodes. But boy, there was some really awful episodes.
Oh boy!
And I'll tell you what, the most fun I have talking on a Saturday night Star Trek is the awful episodes, because everybody gives me a hard time because I throw out a lot of D's, but there's a lot of D's that are well deserved in Star Trek. So,
Yeah,
but
and I
it's a
get
good
to
place
miss
to
it. I
join
don't get
us.
to see all that stuff. A lot of stuff you get to have fun with. I can't really see it all. So
Well, you're so busy.
Yeah.
I think you need an operations officer to help you and Raquel out in that, because you guys are like, oh wait, did we miss a ranking? I don't know. Like you guys
Right.
spend about a half hour trying to figure out whether or not you missed a chat or not.
this new feature they added to StreamYards, this new feature they've added with the being able to star the thing, that's really helpful.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
is true. That
good.
is good. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. We just have fun, and we
Thanks,
just
man.
give Clobby and Raquel a hard time, but they do an amazing job, and
Thanks,
that's
bud.
my Saturday night. I think my wife is going to divorce me because she never sees me on Saturday nights.
Oh, we always say hello to her too.
Yeah, she always does too. She's like, "Oh, are you doing that Star Trek thing again?" And then she'll like listen, like she's listening, and she's like, "Are you listening?" I look over my shoulder. Are you listening? She's like, "No. What are you? That's that Star Trek stuff." But no, she's listening. She loves you guys.
Well, she's amazing. She's a wonderful lady, and it's LT. Silent Star Trek is never the same without you, brother. But we know you're a busy man.
I do my best, man. I try to get there. It's funny because after 12 o'clock, I start to nod off. And like sometimes I'll wake up and the stream is over and I'll be like, oh, I guess I missed the last hour.
Happens to me in the middle of the stream most of the time. Kidding.
Oh, too funny.
Look, Clobby knows Star Trek so much he can talk about it in his sleep.
I often do. I probably do. I just hope I don't.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are hilarious. I'll read these last comics and we'll sing our goodbyes. I think of a lot of things based on what you guys say. It's gonna be a great to learn about Star Trek. Wesley sucks. Good to listen in. Hard to comment though. It's like I'm a Trek kindergarten hanging with college professors. Yeah, that's me. When I'm in the chat, I just say something random like Zack Snyder, and just to see what happens. And nope, that chat doesn't fall for it. That chat, you can, even Zack Snyder, bringing up Zack Snyder doesn't derail a Saturday Night Star Trek like
Jar Jar
stream.
Abrams might, but yeah, or Klutzman, but yeah.
Oh, true. Maybe I'll have to test the waters. Yeah, no, it is a great channel for normies. It really is. Like they really explain everything well. That if you don't know, you can still understand it, and that's where I give Clobby and Raquel the credit for that. And once again, that super interactive chat, like 40 plus people hanging out, just going bonkers talking about it. It's absolutely like a sight to see and to partake in. So yeah, all right, we just spent like what, 10 minutes promoting Saturday Night Trek. Absolutely no regrets whatsoever. All right, guys, catch Claudia and Raquel tomorrow night, Saturday Night Star Trek. I'll be on Yelling at Park Cars as per usual with Comics Division Monday nights. Toxic Tuesday, we'll be talking the Warriors. And then, of course, Comic Shop Talk will be talking the Inhumans. And then, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I've got a video coming out tomorrow. I got an editor now who's going to be doing about at least half of my videos. You may know him. A certain Yeti Cast is going to be doing editing for my videos.
Nice.
So yeah, we got a few ideas. We went back and forth earlier talking, and he understands my vision. So this is going to be a very great combination that's going to help elevate the channel a little bit, and this will help me be able to put out more videos, not just one video a week. I can try now dish out 2 now, so this will be very helpful. So yeah, that's why. Oh, and I'm on the dump tomorrow night with Sporking News podcast as well. So that'll be great. So thank you guys in the chat as well. And hey, Gen Xer, it's all about reaching the normies, man. But yes, Klobby's channel. Oh, especially Klobby's channel. Yes, yeah, YetiCast is great. Yeah. And yes, it is political, but everyone is welcome to scream at the cards with it. And that's true. We've had people from different sides come on with us and still yell out along with us. But anyways, thank you all. We'll see you all soon. And hopefully I'll see you all next Friday. Goodbye. Good fight. Good night. And now we sing the music. Na 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 na. Hey.